everyone, a very good morning to you all. Welcome to the first lecture of Advanced Financial Management paper of ACCA. I hope all of you are doing well. We're going to start with an orientation session today, which will brief you about the paper, about the exam, and what you need to get up for in this paper. Before we get into the detailed orientation session, we will have one introduction session where I'll tell you briefly about myself, about my journey so far, and I'll request all of you to share yours as well. I am Anushka Jain, your mentor for the paper of Advanced Financial Management, right? And I am a chartered accountant qualified in 2017. So it's been about 8 years. And I have been working in corporates since my qualification, starting off with Coca-Cola. I was working in Bangalore corporate office. Then it was during this tenure in in Coca-Cola, that I wanted to pursue ACCA because I had qualified all the levels of CA in my first attempt. I was quite young when I started off. And that's when I felt that I need to study more. So I have been a studious girl throughout. So I really wanted to pursue my passion for studying more, and more so because I wanted to gain international experience. So I took up ACCA in 2019. So since I was a chartered accountant, as you might be aware, if you're a chartered accountant, you need to appear for just 4 papers at the strategic professional level, right? So the first choice I made was for the AFM paper itself. I appeared this in June 2019 and I got world rank 2 and all India rank 1 in this attempt. It was really, so I had been in finance profile, and all of that exposure and my logical understanding of the paper helped me get that rank. So it was really a amazing situation whereby we get a lot of accolades from the institute, and it gives, of course, gives you a lot of recognition. And then I moved on to Pernod Ricard India. Pernod Ricard is it's an alcohol brand company which has brands like Imperial Blue, Royal Stag, Blender Sprite. So it's an international company having its headquarters in France. And I was working in Guwahati, managing the finance for the Northeast. Then I moved on to Flipkart, again in purely business finance role. So having worked there, I garnered my experience in the new new businesses, mostly around fintech, a topic which you will study in your syllabus as well. So I was working in the fintech field. And then I moved on to, again, so I got a call back from Puerto Rico. So I joined as the head of finance for Northeast. And post that, now I have, so about a few months, I mean, more, not even one full month back. So I have now completely moved into coaching. So I've quit my corporate career and I'm now full-time into coaching. I am teaching. So I started my coaching journey. I forgot to mention that. I started my coaching journey after I qualified as an ACCA. So my qualification journey was, as I mentioned, I qualified the AFM paper in June. Then I attempted 2 papers, which were SBL and SBR. So I gave 2 papers together in the September 2019 attempt, qualified them in the first attempt again. And lastly, I gave APM paper, Advanced Performance Management. And with that, so in December I gave this, so I qualified all the papers in ACC also in the first attempt. And I qualified in Jan 2020. Post which, I, got this opportunity from VGLD in around 2020 itself, that I started off teaching ACCA, and AFM was my first paper. So it is about 5 years complete that I have been teaching ACCA AFM paper. Along with that, I also teach skill level students for the papers of financial management and performance management. Okay, so that has been my coaching journey. So about 5 years, I've mentored a lot of students, and I even got in my one of my previous batches, student name is Rupam Bardia. She got world rank one and all India rank one in the AFM paper. So a level up from my Fiat. So this was very recent, and a lot of other ranks have also been secured. So, a lot of good, uh, boosts for the student in terms of the results which we have got. And yes, so we are starting off this new session, AFM, for the June attempt and September attempt. I would now request all of you to tell me about your journey. So I'm currently based out of Guwahati, and I'm taking my classes online, and that's how it is for me. Now, I'll request all of you to give me an introduction about yourself, what you are doing currently in terms of job, or if you're just studying, and if you have any corporate experience, your previous educational background, and where you are based out of. Anything else also that you want to add, you may add. If you have taken any paper from me before, that also you can mention. So let's begin. I would request all of you to please share your introduction. Please use the chat box functionality to message. Good morning, Asta. Please type in your response. I'll get some water in the meanwhile. All of you, please do type in, okay? Yes. Do you want to unmute and talk? That's also fine. I prefer the text conversations because it is easier for the recorded batch students also to follow. Let me know if you're typing, then we will move ahead with the session. Okay, Manmeet says, good morning. He's from New Delhi, graduate and a CA intermediate qualified. Currently working in a Delhi-based CA firm and handling finance and accounts for a Delhi-based company. That's great. I'm sure your practical experience will help you in your subject as well. Like I have also practically seen that. So, okay, Chahat has logged in from Another ID. Okay, currently I'm working as an accounts executive in compliance firm in Singapore. I have completed till level 2 and pending with the last 4 papers. Okay, so you have come completely from the knowledge level and then skill level route, Chahat. Okay, that's great. And Manmeet, I'm sure you would have taken some exemptions. And how many papers have you completed, Manmeet? So, Chahat, I'm assuming this is your first professional level paper. Okay, great. And what about you, Manmeet? All were exempt. Perfect. So only the 4 professional level exams. That's awesome. And Asta, what about you? How's it going for you? What are you doing currently? Asta is a chartered accountant, passed in 2011. Started career with EY in the audit department, post which she joined Steel Authority, which she has worked for 10 years. Post which I joined National High Speed Rail Corporation and worked there for about 2 years. Now, for the last year, I'm on a child break and studying for ACCA. That's awesome. So happy to hear about your journey. Okay. So I have had students with a similar, you know, journey in the past as well. A lot of, students who had, completed their CA, they were working and then they took some break and now that they want to restart their career, maybe, within India or internationally, they take up ACCA. And glad to have you. Okay, so you have attempted SPL in September. All right. So what I understand is that all of you, Manmeet, let me know about you. Okay. No, all right. So for Manmeet, it's the first paper in ACCA rest, or I mean, you have experience. Yes. So you have experience with the ACCA exams. For Manmeet, it's the first one. Okay, so you have taken coaching for SBR and not appeared. All right. So okay, now that gives me one thought I want to share with you. I would request all of you to please attempt the paper unless it's not complete, it's impossible for you to do it for some reason beyond your control. Please attempt the paper as soon as you take the classes. If it is, like currently we are doing it for the June attempt, please attempt the paper in June. I know sometimes you'll feel that your preparation isn't complete, and a lot of different things come into your mind that I'm not fully prepared, or I'm not prepared the way I want to be. Give it a shot. It just I know it never feels complete in the way, but if you give the paper, it's gonna be fine. Just have faith in yourself, and I'm assuring you, all the concepts will be 100% covered in class. In fact, the last paper itself, I got a very good feedback from the students that conceptually everything was clear. It's just that now you have to focus on question practice and attempt the papers. So my endeavor would be to complete the syllabus mostly by the end of April itself. Okay, and you'll get 1 full month which you can focus for your question practice. Okay, so make best use of that opportunity. It's a very good way that you get 1 full month just completely to yourself, to question practice, to revision. Okay, so mostly we'll be doing it up to the end of April, right? I'm sure you would have got to know about the schedule of classes. So we are going to be having a weekday plus weekend batch in which weekends we have from 7 a.m. till 11 a.m. So that is Saturday, Sunday. And MWF, we'll be having the class in the evening slot from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay. You'll get a good break in between. Don't worry, it's not going to be one stretched class. And I always ensure that you all are up to speed and it doesn't become too hectic. So you'll get a good 15-minute break in between the class that you can use to refresh yourself. And that's how the structure would be. And we'll be covering up the syllabus by the end of April. But that doesn't mean the syllabus, I mean, the handholding ends there. We will keep some doubt classes also in between of May. Okay. Whereby when you practice, you get any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. So that's how the structure of the classes are going to be. I keep my classes completely open, two-ways communication. It's not just that me, I'm talking and that's done. Make the best use of the live class facility. Use the chat box to send in your queries, or if you want to share any example of your own, if you have some experience in whatever topic that we are covering in the class, please use the chat box. I have got really, really good, batches with where students were very interactive, and I really appreciate that. And it also keeps me much more engaged, okay, when the students are participating. So I would request all of you to be have do not just lie back and watch the lecture as if you're watching a movie. Be attentive, uh, and please keep communicating in the class so that I also understand that you are able to follow the lecture. And the best thing about it is you can ask me any number of times to re-explain a topic. Normally a need doesn't arise to explain a topic not more than twice or maximum thrice, but still I am very patient. If you feel that you're not able to follow, don't feel shy. It's you have taken the class, it's your responsibility to help, to understand completely. I'm there to help you. So don't feel shy that I should be knowing this. I have done so and so qualification, so I can't ask this in the class. Don't feel that. You can just be open minded, ask your queries in the class and get them clarified right away. Don't hold it back and think that, okay, no, I'll research on my own later. Nothing to be researched later. Everything you can cover in the class itself. So, so that rest of the time you can focus on your career and maybe on question practice that we will be doing along with the chapter completion, right? So are you all with me so far? Anyone feeling lost, or you want to share your thoughts or your expectations? You're welcome to share that in the chat. I'll keep giving you some pauses in between. You can share your feedback, or even if I'm talking, you can post in your query, and I'll respond it as soon as it is possible once I'm done with my part of the lecture. Let me know when you're all set. Good to start. Share is good. Okay, Manmeet and Asta. Okay, so Asta doesn't have the schedule. I'll just check with the admin team. So we have made some changes in the structuring with the structuring of communication with the students. So I'll just check with the team where these details have been shared. I'll just reiterate the schedule for you all. So it will be weekend, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. All of these are Indian Standard Time. Okay, so we'll be having 5 classes in a week, 4 hours each, and you'll get a 15-minute break in between. I mean, it's okay. We can check that as per the speed of the class. So about a 15-minute break, and that's how the classes are structured. I'll still check with the team on the communication part. So just in this batch, we have made some changes. So I'll check and update you on that. Okay, all right. So on that note, we will begin the session of introduction to the topic. So let's get straight to the the most to address the elephant in the room, and that is the exam structure. So AFM is a completely computer-based exam. No pen and paper, nothing. I mean, by the course of the lectures, you will realize that I completely ask you not to use calculators also. Calculators are allowed in the exam, but I would request all of you to, and I'm sure if you're working, you already would be using Excel. For exam also, you have to use Excel for the calculations part, and you will be using like a word processor file, okay, for the text part, the descriptive part. So it's a completely computer-based exam, no pen and paper at all. Okay, I'm sure if you have attempted a paper before of ACCA, you would already be aware about this. But please remember this, it's a complete computer-based exam. Now, you may give this paper from a center or you may give it in a remote um, working, as in you can appear from your own homes. You don't have to travel to a center. Different guidelines around both of these approaches to give the exam. My recommendation always is to give first priority to the center-based exams, because the entire responsibility of managing the exam, any technical glitch, because a lot of times there are technical glitches when you're giving in remote work based setup. So all of that gets catered by the center itself, so you don't have to worry about anything else other than your preparation. So it's a computer-based exam, two ways to give it. First is your center-based exam, like you normally used to have exam centers where you would go and write your papers. So there's a center for the AFM or for all ACCA exams. And similarly, you have another option, and that is to give the paper from the comfort of your home or anywhere in the world, wherever you want to write the paper. That's called remote exam. So in remote based exam, it's all you have to manage your Wi-Fi, your laptop, and configuration of the requisite software. All of that has to be managed from before. Okay. My suggestion always to the students is to give center-based exam, but if you are comfortable with remote exam, that's also fine. I mean, a lot of students use that as well. Yes, so it's a computer-based exam. Make sure you attend all the lectures on your laptop. Please refrain from joining in from mobile or tablets, because I would give you a lot of questions to practice in the class. So that's not possible unless you have joined on a laptop. You will be needing Excel, Word, all of those, uh, just these two softwares only. These two softwares to be able to attempt the answers. Because, see, what I do, I'll just briefly tell you about that as well. So while we are discussing a topic, we'll be doing a lot of related questions and examples in the class. And I'll give you some time to solve on your own. Now, when you do that, if you make mistakes, you will learn it in the class itself. You can highlight your mistakes in the class, and I will give you feedback on your answers, irrespective of whether it's a theory question or a practical question. Because I want all of you to be prepared in the classes itself, nothing, left behind for home or anything. Exam readiness should come from the classes itself. So for you, for that, you also have to put in your best. Please join in the classes from your laptops. I know it feels comforting that you can lie down on your bed and take the classes on mobile. I know a lot of students do that, but for your betterment itself, make use of the live class functionality. Join in using laptops, and wherever you get queries or you want to share your answers, when I give you some time to solve the example questions that I have planned for the classes, you can send in your answers. I'll review your answers, and we will, and you'll get a feedback basically, okay, to help you improve. So yes, first point was computer-based exam, and second I want to discuss about is the format or the layout blueprint of the exam. So the exam consists of just three questions. Now, when I say three questions, more specifically to say there are three scenarios. Okay. So one scenario in section A and two scenarios in section B. Okay, so one scenario in section A and two scenarios in section B. Now, each of these scenarios will have further sub-questions. Okay? So it's not like one question only of 50 marks. There will be sub-questions to it. This one scenario, so it will be a very detailed scenario. We will be covering some 50-mark questions in the class as well. Okay? So one detailed long scenario, uh, and that you have to read through to attempt all the sub questions. That is for 50 marks. Question number 2 and 3 in section B will be carrying 25 marks each. 25 question 2, then 25 marks question 3. Now you must be seeing a column here which is professional marks. See, your paper, ACCA AFM paper, is of 100 marks. Okay. Out of that, 20 marks are for professional skills. Okay. So out of this 50 marks, 10 marks are for professional skills. Here in each of these 25 mark questions, 5 marks each are for professional marks, professional skills. So 10 plus 5 plus 5, 20 marks, they are completely for your display of professional skills. Now, what do you mean when you say professional skills? I'll be covering that in the upcoming slides. What you will be needing to do to get these 20 marks. You don't have to write anything specifically or specially to earn these marks. It will be how you attempt the balance 80 that will give you the marks for 20. So in short and simple, questions will be there for 80 marks only, but on those 80 marks, you will be marked for 100. You know, like in our childhood, we used to hear that add the extra marks for good handwriting, something like that. Questions are for 80 marks, but for the good professional skills that you display in the paper, you get extra marks. And that's part of your total 100 marks. Okay, so that's the breakup. 80, which is your technical marks, and 20 is your professional marks. Are you able to follow me, all of you? So 40 technical in section A question plus 10 marks, 20 technical in question number 2, section B plus 5 marks, 20 technical marks in question number 3, section B plus 5 marks. And what these professional skills are, we'll cover that in the upcoming slides. You need to display 4 professional skills. Now I'll tell you hints also what you can do to gain these skills in your answers. Now, why I'm discussing this today itself is that once you start practicing the questions from the different chapters we cover in the class, start observing how these skills are getting displayed in the model answers. Okay, so you will learn about that. Okay, so that was the blueprint or the structure of how the questions are there in the exam. So there is no choice in this exam. All questions have to be answered. So there is no choice. Whatever questions come, you have to attempt that. Even in sub questions, there's no choice. All the questions will be mandatory. Then there is no negative marking. All questions should be attempted. Please ensure you attempt all the questions, no matter what, you know. Because just, okay, I'll ask you a question. I'm sure you're mature enough to answer me correctly. You attempt 95 marks, okay? And so the pass mark is 50 for the ACCA paper, so you have to get 50 marks to pass. You attempt 95, you attempt the paper for 95 marks, and second scenario is you attempt the paper for some 65, 70 marks. Let's say 70 marks. This 95 mark is some questions good attempt, other questions average or below average attempt. Okay, you have tried. You're not 100% confident of this 95 marks, but some questions very good, like as you expect, some questions below par. And the 70 mark attempted paper, as per you, the best you could give. Okay, just as you expected. Now, what is the probability of you passing, or where is the probability of you passing higher? Where you attempted for 70 or where you attempted for 95? 70, good paper, and 95, good, plus some below par answers. Of course, rightly said, it is the probability of you passing will be higher if you attempt 95 marks. Okay? So I know it sounds very basic right now, but students do this mistake right in the exam. What is done is that they start focusing on building such very beautiful answers for what they know that they start skipping some questions. That they say, it is a common human tendency. That's why I'm addressing it in the first class today itself. That your endeavor is going to be to attempt all the questions. There's no negative marking, so there's no fear of your marks getting deducted because of writing something inaccurate. You have to attempt it all. There may be some very good answers, some average, or some below par answers, but you have to manage that because you have to pass the paper. And now I'm sure, like, if you have taken classes, I'm sure it's not just a passing, you'll definitely aim for a rank also. So keep that in mind. I have to go for a full paper attempt. Okay? Because there is no negative marking. I need to learn time management. That also you will learn with the class, and just to tell you briefly how. So as I told you, we'll be doing some example questions, some, past paper questions also in the class. I'll give you time as per the requirement that how much time it should be used to complete the question. And you try to attempt that. In the initial few attempts, you'll not be able to complete the answer. Slowly and gradually, you'll learn that, I need to increase my typing speed, or I may need to reduce the length of what I'm writing. Because all of these experimentations don't have to be done in the exam because that would be a recipe to failure. So all of these experimentations, how much I'm able to write, what my typing speed is, all of these judgments and understanding and observations should happen before exams. And since you're taking the live classes, you can make best use of it, get it done in the class itself. Okay? So yes, no negative marking, all questions should be attempted. Exam duration is 3 hours 15 minutes. Okay, exam duration is 3 hours 15 minutes. Pass mark is 50%. So I mentioned you have to get 50 marks to pass the paper. And exam duration 3 hours 15 minutes. Ma'am, is there any split between reading writing time? Nothing like that. Give me 1 second. Huh? Yeah. So as I was mentioning, there is no split of reading time, writing time. You can utilize these 3 hours 15 minutes as you want. Okay. Like if you want to read the instructions, not read the instructions. See, my suggestion would be to read the instructions beforehand itself, because so that you don't do it during the exam. Crucial time is used only for attempting the paper. Okay. So that is what you need to do. 3 hours 15 minutes. Utilize it to read the question and answer the paper. Now, I'll show you one paper, one sample paper in the class today itself, so that you understand how these, questions are going to look like. And when I say scenarios, what type of scenarios are given. So after the slide, we will take up a full-fledged uh, paper, as a model paper in the class. And then one very important thing you need to keep in mind while you're writing AFM paper specifically is adopt the role of a senior financial manager or financial advisor. In fact, the scenario itself will tell you that you are writing a report to the CFO of the company. Okay? That's it. Yeah. So that you're writing a report to the CFO of the company. So you have to put yourself in that shoes. Okay, that you are writing as if you're writing to a senior, executive professional in the company. So your reports are going to be like that. Your solutions are going to be like that. The thought process that you need to carry is, of the role, of a senior financial advisor. And two very, very important topics for the AFM exam. Mandatorily, there are questions on these two topics. That's why I have put here itself. And that is number one, advanced investment appraisal. More commonly, you would have heard the terms like NPV. Okay. So advanced investment appraisal, or you'll also be learning about international investment appraisal. So both of them come under the same category. So that is one of the most important topics for the paper. And second is treasury and advanced risk management. Here you will be learning about a lot of two main important topics which definitely come up in the exam. Of course, it's just recommendatory, but you need to be, of course, having a good grip across all topics. Till the last moment before the exam, students keep asking me, ma'am, what are the important questions? What are the important topics? Nothing like that. Anything can get asked in the paper, so you have to prepare yourself. But these two topics, definitely there comes a question, okay, on these two topics. So you have to go in with full preparation of these along with the other topics if you want to pass. Because pass marks are very high. You have to get 50 marks to pass the paper. So you have to know all the topics for you to pass the paper. To be prepared for that. And don't do selective studies ever. It doesn't help. Go for full all-round studies and give it your best shot. Okay. Now, let me show you one paper. In fact, I would request all of you to follow the steps which I'm telling here on your laptop as well. Please type in ACCA practice platform. Please go to the browser and type in, do it along with me so that you can test your practice platform also. Please type in ACCA practice platform. Let me know when you're here. Please go to your laptop browser, type in ACCA practice platform. Okay. And then you will see this link by ACCA Global, ACCA Practice Platform, and CBE Support. Sorry, my bad. Not this one. This one. Past exam and question practice. The second link that you're seeing over here. Okay, type in, click on that and scroll down. You will see this link, log in to the practice platform. Please let me know if you're able to see it, all of you, and then only we'll move ahead. Manmeet, Asta done. Chahat, what about you? Are you able to see this link? Log in to the practice platform. Done? Okay, perfect. So click on this and it will ask your username and password. Username would be your ID and which you would have got. Have you all of you got your login IDs for the My ACCA account? Admin team would have shared it with you. Okay, Chahat. All right, all of you have it now. So please use it to log in. Click on sign into My ACCA. The password is same. ID password is same as for My ACCA. Type in that and you'll be able to see this screen on your laptops. Okay, let me know when you're here on the screen, all of you. I see that Manmeet and Chahat have already done it. Asta, let me know when you're here on the screen. Done. Perfect. Now on the right hand side, you will see Advanced Financial Management. Click on this and click on ACCA Official Resources and click on Practice Exams. Okay. And you will see this here. AFM pre-March 2025 mock exam. Just to briefly tell you about this, ACCA releases a mock paper before every quarterly exam. So this paper was released around 7th to 8th of February for the March students. So that once your syllabus is complete, you appear for the mock exam, evaluate how much marks you're getting, and accordingly, you know, navigate your preparation journey. So you'll be able to see this. What you have to do is click on assign here. Okay, click on assign. And when you do that, a tab will open here with pre-March 2025 mock exams. Okay, you will be seeing this tab. Click on it and you will see this paper. AFM pre-March 2025 mock exam. You have to click on start. Okay. And now all of the instructions which you would see in your regular paper, you'll be seeing here also. Okay. Click on next. Please take out some time to read these instructions. You can do it today also or anytime, but don't do it during exam. That's my request. Do it before any time before the exam. Anyways, these are simple instructions. We will be covering that in the class also. But still, for the benefit, for your self-satisfaction, please go through these instructions. All of these details, some differences are there between the practice platform and the live exam. So that they have highlighted here. So these are very, very basic things. Okay. And then you click on next. Now, this is how the exam is going to start for you. So this particular exam is not timed. It's a mock paper. But your real exam, as I told you, it will be timed for 3 hours and 15 minutes. It's divided into two sections. Section A, as I mentioned, one question worth 50 marks. And section B, two questions, each worth 25 marks. So total 50 marks. And all questions are compulsory, no choices. So if you click on next, the exam starts. So first, of course, you will see section A question. Okay, then click on next. So this is what, or this is how the screen will look like to you. So you will get the exhibits here. Now, what are exhibits? These are exhibits containing the details of the scenarios which I've been talking about. We have a look at it. Requirements are what you need to answer, basically the questions. And as I told you, there would be two response options. One is spreadsheet, similar as Excel, and word processor is your Word. This is how you'll be seeing the questions and the scenarios, questions, and the answers. Now let's go through each one of them. So there will be three scenarios as I told you. So this one, question number one is on Waldich Company. Okay. So first scenario, it will give you an introduction to Waldich Company. Okay. You can resize the screen like this, okay? The way you want, you can do it. Whatever you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with this much font size, that's also fine. So just do all of these experimentations before exam. So what a lot of students do is they will open up all the exhibits first and they will resize it. Okay. And then once you just click on that exhibit, it will open up in that size only. So if I just resize, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I resize this and put it here. Then I resize this. So you can change it on the right hand side, bottom corner. You can drag and change the size here. Okay, so I keep it like this. So I can read exhibit number 1 here, exhibit number 2 here. Okay. Now if I want to focus on this one, I can click on it. I'll read the scenario here. So as I told you, they will give you a very detailed scenario. So first is the introduction to the company. It's a construction company focused on large public sector, okay, commercial and retail projects. We're not going to read in detail, but I'm just telling you that the first exhibit mostly is around the introduction to the company and the type of problems it is facing. Okay. So, like here, they are telling you that the company has seen profits increase over the long term. However, there is a particular division, okay, which has not delivered profits. Okay, now the problem starts. So first they gave you an introduction about what the company is doing, what it has done so far in the past. And now the problem starts because you as financial advisors are there to solve the problem. Okay, so this is typically how first exhibit looks like. And then the second exhibit, acquisition of Tinkleton Company. Now what the company is planning to do. So, scenario with complete details. A lot of numerical information will also be there in the exhibits itself. Okay. So this all details are given to you. So this question is on acquisition. So one of the topics which you're going to learn in the syllabus is mergers and acquisitions. Again, a very, very important topic. So once you are done reading, you can close it. Then the third scenario, you can resize and put it as per your convenience. Okay, this is the third scenario. Then here they're talking about the disposal. So you're going to be learning about corporate restructuring also. This topic, disposal, is a part of corporate restructuring exercise. So this third exhibit is talking about the disposal. And then fourth is offer to Tinkleton Company's directors. Okay. Now there is some discussion on how the acquisition would happen, but of course not the subject that we want to cover right now. But to tell you that this is how the exhibits will look like, and this is how you can resize and put the exhibits on your screen. Now, as I told you, once you open them again, see, it will open in the same size. So a lot of students, what they do is they'll first open up all the exhibits, resize as per what they are comfortable with, and then start reading. To each his own. If you are comfortable with resizing when you read it for the first time, that's also fine. Or you can just open them first and then close all the tabs and then focus on reading again. Okay. So this is how detailed the exhibits would be. A lot of theory plus practical information included as part of them. And then comes the requirements. So this is how the requirements are going to look like. First question. Question number 1, that is section A question, will 100% contain a question which will ask you to prepare a report. And there are special marks for the way you prepare this report. We are also going to cover that in the class. This question will definitely come that you have to prepare a report. Okay. And what this report will include, of course, that will vary from question to question. But the first question, section A question, will definitely ask you to prepare a report. No doubt about it. Okay. So prepare a report for the directors of Voltage company. This is part A of the question. And see, as I told you, there would be a lot of subparts. There would be a lot of subparts. Calculates the profit or loss on sale of the infrastructure support services division. You know, when I was talking about the third exhibit, that it talked about the disposal of the division. So you'll have to refer to the third exhibit. Then part 2 of this question A only calculates the percentage gains, blah blah blah, and then concludes. I've been focusing on the first word of each of the sub question, and I'll tell you it's very, very important. It is called question verb. I know it sounds very basic, but it carries a lot of importance. A lot of times, what happens is students don't realize what the requirement is about. They'll start writing as they have practiced a question or as they know it. That should not be the approach. If the question is asking you to calculate something, you should focus your time and effort on doing the calculation only. Writing descriptive answers about it once you have done the calculation will not fetch you any marks. You're just losing your time. And that is step number 1 towards time management. I want all of you to be very clear on this right from the first class. You will always, always observe the question verb. Question is asking me to calculate, I will calculate. Question is asking me to conclude. So here, first it asked me to calculate something. I don't want to get into what, but it asked me to calculate something. Then it asked me to conclude. I will give my conclusion here. But will I give a conclusion here that the company should do this, not do this? No. It doesn't carry marks. I will not waste my time. Okay? So always focus on the question verb here. Now the third question, part 3 of question A itself, is discusses. So this is purely theoretical question. And let me tell you, do not hold this conception in mind that AFM, it's a practical paper. Of course, the underlying theme is practical. But there's a 50-50% descriptive answer writing and 50% numerical answer writing in the paper. And does that mean I'll have to memorize a lot of things? Assuring you, no. The theory questions also which will come now, they will be derived from the exhibits itself. So now let's just look at this. Discusses the problems with achieving the forecast operating strategies from the acquisition and the steps Voltage company's board can take to achieve these synergies. So nothing to cram up and repeat. You will have to refer to the scenario and write your answer. Yes, this topic will come in the theory discussion also, which we will be doing in the class. So we will be doing both theory plus practical in the class. So this topic itself will come. What type of synergies can happen due to acquisition. So the theme will originate from there, that what points I need to cover. But do I need to memorize what is given in the class book? No. You need to know what each of these synergies are about, which we'll be covering later in the M&A chapter. But then you need to develop the points by referring to the scenario. No one is going to give you marks for just cramming up and repeating. There will always be a reference to the question scenario to answer even the theory questions. Okay? So very much, real life theory questions you will see in the paper. That you are facing this problem, what can you do to solve this problem? Because just understand, you are at a senior level. Are you expected to do just calculations? Your team will be doing that and giving it to you, and you have to take decisions basis that. So the ACCA papers prepare you for that. That it's not just calculative mindset that you need to develop. You also need to have a problem solving attitude, which will get reflected in while you attempt these theory questions here. Okay. So keep it clear in your mind. It's going to be a 50-50 mix of theory plus practical. And then again here, the fourth sub question is discusses. For both the share exchange and cash offers, the impact on voltage company's financial situation, and the likely reaction of the voltage company shareholders. Where do you feel that you could have cramped this up and answered? Nowhere you will see this, what will be the reaction of the shareholders. Of course, the theme we will be discussing, that how do shareholders react to cash offers, or how do shareholders react to share for share exchange offers. But how will voltage company's shareholders react? Because what will happen is, when you read the scenario in detail, you will understand what is the composition of the shareholders. Maybe it's like a promoter driven company, or maybe it's like a public company with a lot of shareholders. So you will have to answer accordingly. Okay. So this is carrying about 7 marks. And then part A is over. Part A was about report. Now part B, it's a separate question. It's not part of the report. I'm going to discuss how report is to be prepared in the class. It will have an introduction and what all different elements you need to cover, and then it will have a conclusion also as part of the report itself, and the layout of the report. So that will apply to just this question, which is prepare a report. It will not apply here. It's a separate question. So discuss the ethical considerations. Okay, so discuss the ethical considerations. Ethics is a very important part of the not just the AFM syllabus, but all the strategic professional level papers. So you have to discuss the ethical considerations relating to the job losses or whatever is happening here in this scenario. Okay, so this is also carrying 5 marks. So you can see for yourself here, 7 plus 5, 12, 12 plus 8, 20. 20 marks purely theory you can see here. And out of this, some 18 marks, you can think in your mind, 3 to 5 marks will be for the concluding remarks that you have to give. Right? Or maybe like 1 or 2 marks also. So this is not clarified here. So that's why I'm saying it's an open-ended, but mostly you can see that out of the 40 marks total technical marks, 20 is clear-cut theory. And here, let's say, I think better split would be in your mind, 1 mark for the concluding remarks, because they try to maintain this split. Like what you can see here, 50-50% split of theory practical. They try to maintain that. So here you can keep in your mind that about 1 mark will be for theory conclusion. Rest will be for calculation only. So this is how the split will look like. And the balance 10 marks, as I told you, professional skill marks will be awarded for the demonstration of skill in number 1, analysis evaluation. Number 2, skepticism. Number 3 is commercial acumen. Okay. There is one more skill. It's not mentioned here, but that's the communication skill. Communication skill is the skill which gets tested in section A question only. Why so? Because communication skill, it's not about verbal communication, it's about how you are writing the report. So it will definitely come. I think it's a skip here while ECC was drafting this mock paper, but 100% you will get communication skill being tested in section A report question. Okay, so 4 professional skills I mentioned to you. All 4 skills get tested in section A. What will I have to do to prepare for this? You leave it to me. We'll be covering it in the upcoming slides itself. Okay. So this is how the requirements look like. Please take some time. Let me know if you're fine. If you're getting any doubts, ma'am, about anything you want to ask, please feel free. Go through it. All right. Chart is done. Right? Perfect. So this is how section A question looks like. Now let me show you the answer scripts also, how you will be writing your answers. So it's a very simple, plain vanilla word file. Okay, so the theory questions which you saw and the report preparation that you have to do, you will be doing it in word processor only. Okay, and then there's a spreadsheet here. As I told you, this is a plain vanilla Excel file. Now let me give you a disclaimer. Since all of you are working, I know you might be using a lot of Excel shortcuts. Please remember, not all shortcuts work here. It shouldn't come as a surprise during exam. So all shortcuts will not work here. What I will suggest you to do is every once in a while, maybe every week, just open this this Excel file, this Word file, while you're practicing the questions. Do it on this so that you become accustomed, like, the word text wrap feature or the merge feature. So, how does it work here? Or is it even available here? I'll be showing you now only, like, what all features are there, but for you to become comfortable with it, every once in a while, please use these functionalities to practice, just to practice any other question. I'm not saying you have to practice these questions only here. You can practice some other question also from the book on these 2 answer response sheets. Okay. Now, first, let me cover the word processor with you, what all functionalities are available. So, first one, this is a reset function, not needed. Reset is basically whatever you have written here, whatever formatting you have done here, to reset all of that. Okay, but not needed from exam point of view. I am typing something randomly here. Okay, I've written something randomly. Now, the first function which you see here is cut. Now, one thing is you can select and then you can press cut here. Or what you can do is you can press Control X also on your keyboard. So this function works. That's what I want to tell you. I pressed Control X. Now I want to paste it. One thing is I can, paste using this. Or I can press Control V. So if you have used a keyboard shortcut to cut, you have to use keyboard shortcut to paste also. Okay. So I'll just do Control Z. Okay. So this is Control X. I go down, press Control V. it pastes the data. Simple shortcut, which I'm sure you all would be knowing. Copy paste W company, Control C, I pressed on my keyboard, Control V, it pastes. Okay, so these three functions, please don't waste your time on using mouse and then reaching here. You can use your simple keyboard shortcut, Control X for cut, Control C for copy, Control V for paste. It works. Okay. And this is undo redo button. How do you do undo in your laptops? It is Control Z. See, if I do Control Z, it is bringing back the W company which I had pasted here. If I want to redo it, I press Control Y. Okay, so Control Z is for undo, Control Y is for redo. Simple keyboard shortcuts which work here as well. Then the next function that you have here is find and replace. Here also, what is the function? Now, what is the shortcut for find and replace? Control F, right? So Control F, it works here as well. So let's say I want to replace W company with H company. Okay, find and replace. See, it replaced it. You might not need it as much, but yes, it is available, and the keyboard shortcut Control F works here. Then you want to make something bold. This you will need a lot, definitely. So here you can either select and press the key here, or again, what is the keyboard shortcut for bold? What is the keyboard shortcut for bold? Control B. If I press Control B here, see, I select this and press Control B, it works. I want to make something italics. What is the shortcut? Control I. I click that on my keyboard, it works. I want to underline something. Let's say I want to underline report. I select it, I press Control U, it does it. So all of these keyboard shortcuts work. Then you want to strike through something. See, here you might not need it as much, because why would you strike through it? You'll simply delete it, no? So, but still it is a function available to you, but I feel it's unusable. You can strike through the words like this. Okay. Then subscript and superscript is available. So for example, you are writing equity beta. Okay. And you want to make it subscript. So you can select E and click on this. It will make it subscript. Now one disclaimer, while ideally something needs to be written like this. Okay. Like for example, beta is the topic which we will cover in the class, equity beta. And ideally that E should be a subscript. One thing is you can do it the way I've shown you here. Or another would be to just leave it like that. Examiner understands that you have limited time and you can't be spending all of this time in beautification. It's easily understandable. So we're going to learn a formula of, let's say, equity beta. And if you write it like this, it's BE is easily understood as equity beta. But yes, if you ask me, is the functionality available? Yes, functionality is available to make it subscript also and to make it superscript also. Both of these are available, but yes, you can write normally also and proceed. Then this is a clear formatting function, not needed for exam point of view. Again, this is also not needed. What is the style of your writing? Let it be paragraph only. Now there might be a need to insert a small table. So for example, now I'll tell you a scenario. So let's say you have done a lot of calculations in your spreadsheet, and then you want to summarize it here, the final viewpoint. So here you might need to insert a table. So you can insert a table normally like you do in your Excel file. So let's say this is the way it is. So for W company, Then you want to write something for H company, you want to write something for E company, whatever. Just giving you an example. You can write your details here. Okay. So like, for example, you want to write equity beta here. First you'll have to insert, you can insert rows, okay? So insert rows before. So let's say you're writing your equity beta here. So let's say it is 1.2. Here it is 1.3. So you might need such type of a table here in this Word file also, and this function is available. You can use it like this. And yes, you can delete also, delete row, okay, cut row properties. All of these are available. Okay, what type of alignment you need, left, center, right, what is the height of the row that you want, then border style, what you want. I'll suggest not to spend a lot of time on all of this. Let the default settings be there in the properties at least. But yes, it is available to you. So you can use the alignment function here as well. Okay. So this is our table function, which you can see that you have alignment as I was mentioning just now. You want to take something in the left, by default it will be in left alignment. You want to take it to the center, center alignment, right alignment, and justified alignment. So justified alignment is more useful when you're writing it in paragraphs. So all of these alignment styles are available. Then you want to write something in bulleted points. So that also you can do. Select the point that you want to make a bullet. So let's say I want to make both of these in a bullet. You can do that. You want to make it a numbered list. You can do that. Okay, so just see it's changing here. Bullet. But now I don't want anything. I'll just click on it again and it goes. So this function is available. Then there is an indent function available. So ma'am, what is indent? Let's say I want to push it slightly towards the right. It goes here. Okay. So I could have pressed a lot of space bars and done this, but easier and cleaner way to do it is by using the indent function. Now I want to take it back to where it was. Take it to the left. Okay. And then last is this print function, of course. You don't have to print your answers in exam, so not needed. So this is how the word processor looks like. Please tell me if it's all clear. All the functions which you can see on your screen, are you able to follow? Anything you want to ask? So only this much is available. Nothing extra, like, nothing else. I know a lot of extra functions are available on MS Word, but not all of those functions will be available. Only these which you can see on your screen are available in the ACCA exam. Clear? Perfect. Now I'll close this. And now let's take a look at the spreadsheet. So similar type of functions you can see here as well. Not focusing again on this. This is basically reset function, not needed. This is cut, copy, paste. This is format painter, but not much useful in the exam. Then this is the what is the zoom level that you want for the answer script. I would suggest stick with 100%. Then this is the font size as you want. If you want to write something in a bigger font, you can use this. Then this bold, italics, underline is available. You want to color your text. So let's say you want to color your text, you can do that. Again, I don't find it useful. Either I would suggest make use of the bold function if you want to highlight something. Okay. If you want to color some cell, so let's say I would suggest you can do this actually like your final answer. So you have done a lot of calculations here. and your final beta equity is coming in this as 1.2. So this I would suggest you may do it. Again, you can use bold function also to do it, or you can simply color your final answer in any color that you want, maybe green, blue, whatever you like. You can put a separate color so that your final answer gets highlighted. The examiner also knows that okay, the final answer has been done here. So this is something that you can do, or you can simply use the bold function also. Then left alignment, center alignment, right alignment within the cell, you can do that. Okay. Then this is up to how many decimal places. So let's say I want it up to 2 decimal places, so I can do it here. Or if I want up to 3, 4, 5 decimal places, so I can go to custom and I can, do that as well. So number, and then if I want the number format to be, so I can get as many decimal places I want. Okay, so which feature did I use? This 0.00 custom. Okay, if I don't want any decimal places, I'll remove it. Okay, it will remove the the rounding off. So this is available here mostly for the decimal places that you want. And this is for the currency. I don't find it very useful. Okay, and what you can use it for is, let me see, it's the same format cells dialog box that you are seeing here. If you do go to currency, you can type in whatever currency you want this to be, and you have multiple functions here like dollar, pound, euro. This is P given, and yen. So you can press OK, and let's say I type a number here, so it converts into dollar because my default setting was dollar. So if you want to convert something in a currency, you can do that. So let's say I do 5, or I'm going to use it for calculations, that will also work. Okay. So that is one thing you can use here for. So this custom and currency, and all of this will be available in any from anywhere. If you open this format cells, you'll be able to see all of these functions together here itself. Percentage, fraction. This won't be useful. Percentage, like if you want up to without any decimal place, you want up to 2 decimal place, single decimal place. So simpler once they are given to you on screen itself. Okay, alignment. What do you want? You want to wrap text. If the statement that you're writing is pretty long, you can wrap text. Or if you want to give a border to the cell, again, I would suggest not to give borders to the spreadsheet cells. It takes a lot of your time. But yes, this function is available to you if I want to insert a border. Okay. I apply OK. So this type of a box will come. But I don't find it very useful, so just telling you. But yes, this function is available to you. And so as I told you, all of these functions will be available under the format cells. So you can take a look at this number, currency, date, what date style you want, time. Don't find it very useful, but it's available. Okay. So that was about uh, the currency function here, percentage function. See, all of this are available here only. So rather than clicking on these now, like after this decimal place, you can simply go to this format cells option. You will see all of these. Okay, then this fraction part is also available. I don't find it useful for your paper. The format cells I've already discussed. These all functions are available to you. And alignment, border, all of this is done. Next, this is done. And you can adjust the width of the cells like this, okay? Simple, like you do it in your Excel. You can drag and resize if you want to change the this also. It is possible to do that height of the cell. You can adjust all of these things. The way you want, you can do it. You want to make this longer, you can make it longer. You want to wrap text here. So for example, so I want the entire content to be available. So what I will do is format, cells, alignment, wrap text, and left. Apply. See. Okay, this function is available to you. I hope all the functions are clear. Let me know anything that you want to ask. Will this work? Will this not work? Clear? And as I told you, please practice questions here on this platform once in a while. We will be solving, I'll be solving all the questions in class in Excel only. I don't even use Word. I find Excel comfortable, so I solve everything in Excel. But while you are practicing, please do it in word processor and spreadsheet. This is the entire, usable functions discussion of both these response options which will be available to you. You need to be comfortable with this because you are going to be writing the paper here. So don't think that, today that we have discussed it and then you will see the screen again in exam time only. Don't make that mistake. Be comfortable with it. Okay, what functions will work? Because I'll be discussing a lot of Excel formula in class also. Like for example, so I'll be discussing one function. So let's say this is I want to calculate IRR. So there is this IRR function I will teach you. Sorry, teach you in the class. So it works here. Okay. So all the formula which I will be covering in the class, it will be something which will work in your practice platform. I mean, in your spreadsheet feature also. But sometimes still I get queries from students, ma'am, will this function work in exam or not? If you get this in your mind, like I've discussed something in class and you feel that you're not sure if it will work or not, just open the practice platform, open any exam response option and just try it out, whether that function is working or not. A lot of these functions, okay, they don't work. I'll not teach you that. I'll just tell you that this is how you'll have to do it. But for your satisfaction also, if you want to verify what I'm saying, you can any day open your practice platform and test it. That will this work, not work. So like this one, for example, why I'm telling you to become comfortable with it. So like IRR, and you can press tab to complete the formula. So I just selected it and it was coming like this. Now I want to see IRR is expressed percentage. So you have to click on percentage button here. If you want up to 1 decimal place here, you can press that. 2 decimal place, you can press that. So practice it once in a while over here so that different types of questions get practiced for you in this platform. Are you clear? Perfect. Okay, so on that note, now let's move to. So this was all about section A question, but of course we discussed the response options and all in detail. So this was section A question. Now we click on next, and it will show us section B. It contains two questions, each worth 25 marks. Click on next. And this is question number 2. You can see it here also, okay? This is question number 2 of 3. 3 questions I told you. Question number 1 is section A. Section B will contain 2 questions. So this is question number 2. And it is about some company. The company information background of the company. It's given to you in this particular exhibit. What the company is doing. What is the problem that they are facing. So you'll get a brief about it here. And what is the new product investment that they want to do. So this is like a NPV question, investment appraisal question that I was talking to you about. So all of the details will be given here. Now, one very important thing I want you to know that copy paste is available. So for example, you read a statement or you read some content in the exhibit that you don't want to spend your time typing. What you can do is, let's say I want to, copy this. It works, okay? So I press Control, I select it, I press Control C on my keyboard and I come to this. I press Control V. See, I was able to paste it. So this functionality is available. It might come handy. So you should know that copy paste function is available on the exam also. And of course, within the response sheet also, if you want to copy something, let's say I just want to copy loan only. So that also is possible. You can paste within the sheet and this will be very, very useful. See, when I was writing papers, it was all pen and paper. So you have to write everything again. But here, on your computer-based exam, you can make use of copy-paste function to save time. Wherever possible, wherever needed, you can use it. Okay, so that was about the type of questions. Now you will see here in section A, there were 4 exhibits. So it's not defined. It could be 5 also, it could be 3 also. But the exhibits will be on a lengthier side. Here, the exhibits will be smaller and also less in number. So here there are 2 exhibits. Similarly, here you will see the requirements. Of course, the requirements will also be less. It's for 25 marks. And see, calculate. So calculation is for 13 marks. And discusses. This is 7 marks. And professional skills will be there for 5 marks. For the, okay, so communication skill gets tested only in section A. It will not get tested in section B because the report writing will come to you in section A only. Okay. So the other 3 skills, analysis, evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen, maybe 3, maybe 2, they get tested in section B questions. Okay. So this is the requirement. And again, word processor, spreadsheet, all of this will be same only. No change there. Format, everything is same. You just have to write in your answer. And one very important thing, okay, let me tell you that. You can't add or delete rows here. So if I want to add a row here, see, I can do that in Excel, but I can't do it here. I can't add. There is no option I can add. It's not available to me. Similarly, I can't delete rows also or add rows also. It's not available. Okay. And then total number of rows available is 300. 300 rows are available. You can't go below this. No, don't worry about this. Your answer will never ever stretch beyond even 200. That's the maximum I've seen, of course. It differs from person to person. But yes, just to tell you that there are 300 rows available. And here also there is a limitation. Till CV only it is available. So you won't need it for so much length also. But yes, this is restricted area. And that's for all, section A spreadsheet also. So that was question number 2. different scenario. And then comes question number 3 here. This is on Damsted Company. See, I told you now, hedging. So investment appraisal got tested in question number 2, hedging got tested in question number 3. And that's how it happens. You know, in real exam also, some question will definitely come from that topic. Here again, company is listed in Eurozone and whatever, and a lot of information about hedging is available to you here. Okay. Then CEO comments. What does the CEO want to say? And he has given all of these problem statements to you, and now you have to respond to the CEO. As I told you now, that you have to put yourself in the shoes of a senior financial advisor. You're responding to the CEO. So accordingly, you'll have to frame your answers properly in a detailed manner. Here you will see the requirements and similarly the professional marks. Okay, mostly you will see all 3 of these getting tested only. And what is the strategy? Recommend an appropriate hedging strategy is due to make discussing. Now, this is a hidden question verb. So, what happens in a lot of times is that 2 questions will be merged in one. Okay. So, you have to recommend, you have to discuss the factors also. In exam hurry, what happens? Students just read the first part, they start solving. They will not even read the requirement fully. You will lose marks because there will be a split of these 13 marks, which will be there for strategy, also for discussion of factors also. So all of these are common errors which students make, and I'm apprising you right away in the first class. You don't make them. Make sure you have the habit of reading the entire requirement, and then see, show all relevant calculations, including the number of contracts bought and sold in the exchange traded currency futures market. So you'll have to show the calculations also. Okay. And remember this, and I'll repeat it also. Please make the life of the examiner simple. Write in a way which the examiner is able to follow. Never ever do some calculation in your calculator and hard code it in your spreadsheet file. Whatever calculations you are doing, it should be in your spreadsheet only, nowhere else. And solve in a way. Keep linking. I'll do that while we solve all the questions in class, and I'm sure you all would be doing in your practical work experience also. That please keep linking your Excel cells so that if you make any change up, it all gets reflected in all the linked cells. Okay, and the examiner is also able to follow from where you got what. Okay, he's not left to think, okay, the student might have written this number, that number. Let me tell you, no examiner will spend so much time for your paper. You have to make it simpler for him or her. So write in a way which is easier for the person who is reading your answer script to follow. Okay, it shouldn't be like a haphazard display of all the calculations in a clear layout, whether it is a section A report question or any other question. It should be in a readable way format that someone who is reading the answer for the first time is able to follow. It should not be some like a big mystery to solve what you have written. It shouldn't be like that. Okay. And then see, demonstrate to the CEO how this particular process works. So you have to explain the process to the CEO and explaining what will happen if Dumpston Company fails to maintain its margin account. See, again, just to re-emphasize, reiterate that the theory questions also are related to the scenario. Like, what will happen to this company if this margin account is not maintained? No cramming questions, write the definition of futures contract, write the definition of options contract. No. Do the calculation and relate it to the scenario. That's how all the questions will be structured. So these are the requirements of question number 3. And again, answer response questions will be same only. Please let me know if you're with me so far. Anyone having any query? Anything that you want me to explain again, let me know. All set? Perfect. So this was about the exhibits. Now a few functions which are available over and above this. So this is a dollar symbol. Not much useful here in this part at least, but it's available. The same symbols which were available in the format cells. You can highlight the questions also if you while you're reading the detailed exhibit. So for example, and it's a useful feature actually. Let's say you want to highlight something that this is a payment question. Okay, you want to highlight this, you can highlight it here. Okay, you want to change the color of the highlight, you can do that. So let's say now I highlight 3-month expiry. You want to highlight this. So this is available. You want to strike through something. So while you're reading the question, you feel that this is some unnecessary information given just to confuse you. You can just select it, strike through it. Okay. Calculator is available here, but it's the type of calculator that you would not want to use. So please, if you're accustomed to using calculator, carry your own calculator, but please don't rely on this calculator here, which is available on the exam. And also, as I told you, get away from the calculator. In fact, it's been ages I have not used calculator. I always use Excel. And for exam purposes also, it's just beneficial, time saving also, and easier for the examiner to follow also. All the calculations if you're doing in Excel itself. And Scratchpad, you can write whatever you want over here. Okay, it does not get submitted to the examiner. It does not get submitted. Whatever some thoughts come to your mind while you're reading the question and you just want to write it down, you can use it. Or else, what I would suggest is that if you want to scribble something, some thought came to your mind while you are reading the question, you can better write it in word processor itself. You will be writing your final answer. So anyways, you can delete whatever you type, you can delete. So you can just select delete. So instead of opening one more tab of Scratchpad, you can simply make use of word processor or spreadsheet, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, but yes, this feature is available and whatever you type in over here will not get submitted. Whatever highlights that you do here, it does not get submitted. Only the response options get submitted to the examiner, nothing else. What you're doing, highlighting, striking, whatever you do here doesn't get submitted. But yes, whatever you do here, word processor spreadsheet, it does get submitted. As it is, the way you leave it. Okay, and then yes, there is a flag for review option that if you want to flag this question for review later on, so you're not very comfortable with what you have written, so you can flag this question for review. Not very useful, you just anyways have 3 questions. So you will remember if you're not able to do some question properly. So this function is available. And then this is very important. Help formula sheet. So these are simple exam instructions which you were able to see in the first screen also. But if you want to read it later, you will get all these instructions here as well. Then workspace help, as in what I've just discussed with you, what all functionalities are available now. Copy, paste. Then how does this, what is each function on the toolbar that I've already covered with you. It's not needed, but yes, anything you want, it is available here as well. And as I told you, you cannot enter or delete columns or rows. If you wish to rearrange, please use copy paste function. If you want to, rearrange some data, use copy paste function. Ma'am, is merge cells option available? No, you cannot merge cells also. It is not available. Okay. If you want to just have a detailed look at it, you can see this. And some commonly used functions, formula, all of these will work, sum, average, square root, power. You will learn that with the flow of the classes. But yes, so as I was showing you one sample. So IRR works. Okay. Then formula sheet. This is very, very important. A lot of the formula will be given to you in exam itself. And this formula sheet will be available to you in exam. Not specific to work paper, but it will be available to you in exam also. All of these formula sheet, which you can see on your screen, it will be available in exam. You don't have to memorize the formula. Okay, just give me 2 minutes, I'll be back. Yes, so as I was talking about the formula sheet, all of these formula will be available to you in exam. You can open this and apply the formula in your spreadsheet function. Okay, so you can just keep it side by side like this. So for example, you want to use the acid beta formula. Okay, so you can use it from here. Okay, like you want to apply it. But anyways, I'll be telling you give simpler versions of the formula that will be much more useful. But yes, if you forget it, you still have this formula sheet to refer to. Okay, this MIRR, I'll ask you to refer from here only. It's a simpler version. Like Black-Scholes option pricing model, this you won't need. Ma'am, why? See, the topic is a part of your syllabus, but I really applaud ECCA for doing this. So, if a question comes on Black-Scholes pricing model, so if you look at it, it's a very, very complicated formula. ND1 is a separate calculation, ND2 is a separate calculation, and then raising it to some exponential power. It used to be like a nightmare for the students. But what ACCA has done is that if a question comes from this topic, Black-Scholes option pricing model, they will give you a calculator, Black-Scholes option calculator, where you just have to input the basic variables. I'll show that to you later when the question comes. You will here have to input the basic variables and calculation will be done by the calculator, which ACC has provided to you in exam. Okay, not this calculator which I showed you here, which I said it's very, you know, not worthy of using in exam. Not this, I'm not talking about this. There will be a separate BSOP calculator, we call it BSOP calculator, which will be provided to you. You can just input the variables and calculation within a click of a second. I mean, within a click of a button, you will get all the calculations done. Okay. So you'll be learning about all of these concepts, but I'm just walking you through what is available to you in the exam. Okay. So with this, the entire exam walk is done. If you just click here, you can see all the questions in one single glance. That section A, case study 1, case study 2 and 3, attempted, close, next. Okay. And then you can end the exam. If you want to review some flagged question, you can review here. Like if you want to redo or relook at some question, you can review it here and then end exam. It will ask you, are you sure you want to end it? Click yes. Are you sure you want to end it? Because once you ended an exam, you'll not be able to reopen it. So be very careful before you press this button, because that is the reason they are also asking you twice. Are you sure you want to end the exam? Click on yes and it's done. Okay. Here, it doesn't get submitted to ACC, of course, but when you do it in your actual exam, the response sheet will get submitted to ACC. And then this part is done. Okay. Now I want to show you something else as well, which will be useful to you, not today itself, but later. So you have the function of watching all the model answers here. Okay, you can see all the model answers. So for example, this, if you click on, I submitted the exam now. Now if I come to the mark tab, I was on the home tab here when I was referring to all the past exam, practice exam. Now if you want to click and see the model answer, like I submitted the answer, whether it is right, not right, I want to evaluate myself, I want to see what the correct answer should be. So I click on the mark tab over here. Click on this and self-marking tab will open up. And within this, you will see, I attempted this today, right? So this is as per Great Britain time, but anyways. So today's attempt, I can see my answer here. So click on self-mark. So every time I attempt it, a new self-mark tab will open up. So this is the tab which will open. And if I want to see the marking scheme, oh, lately it is not opening. 1 second. Huh? Some setting in my browser only doesn't allow me to open up the guidelines. 1 second. Well, let me open it up in a different browser. You can also bookmark this. Like I have also saved a bookmark of the practice platform so that I don't have to type ECCA practice platform and then go on the link and all. So you can also do that. So if I click on self mark, whatever I wrote, my answer is coming here. Okay. So there was some issue in my Chrome setting. I was not able to view this here. So I've opened it on a different browser. So you can see that your guideline, like what is the mark distribution? So 2 marks was for the sale of division and how this 18 marks is now split. Pre-acquisition free cash flow, it carries 1 mark. So if you have done this calculation, they will give you this 1 mark. Now, even though your entire answer might not be right, you still get step marks. And ACCA very clearly gives this guideline to the examiner while they are checking your answer that if you have attempted this correctly, okay, if you have done this correctly, they will give you 1 mark. Ma'am, but I did some, prior calculation incorrectly. If you have done that incorrectly, ma'am, will all my follow-on answers be marked incorrectly? No. ACC understands that like one error should not make you nullify all the other marks. So if you have done one error, but you have done the process correctly, you will still get the marks. So they give you that benefit. Okay. So this is the mark split which is available, like reasons why. So they give these, guidelines to the examiner that okay, if the student has written about this, it can include so and so, so and so. If you have included this in your answer, you will get the marks. Okay. So it's not like a standard answer only, like whatever is written in the model answer only, that will be considered as the right answer. If you have written across these points, many points which are given to the examiner team, you will get the marks. Okay. So this is the marking scheme. And how will you score the professional skill marks? So I was telling you now, in section A, there will be communication skill marks. So this is something, you will get the marks for. So like in communication, general report format, I was again and again emphasizing on this, we'll cover like what the format should be, structure, use of headings, subheadings, like introduction is given or not, conclusion is given or not, style, language, and clarity, tone of report response. Like you are writing to a senior, official at the company. So the tone of the report has to be very, very proper. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't come out like you're reprimanding that so official. So the tone has to be purely professional. Then presentation of calculations, as I told you, make the life of the examiner simple. Appropriate use of the tools, easy to follow, and more than a negligible amount of content. Okay. Then effectiveness of communication, answer is relevant. What is asked, you answer that. You don't start answering whatever you know. specific rather than general, and focused to the requirements. You're writing specific answer. Don't write generalized commentary in your answers. You don't get marks for that. Okay. Then analysis and evaluation. How do you get those marks? Appropriate use of the data to determine suitable calculations. Are you able to use appropriate data? Then support the discussion, draw appropriate conclusions, and what is the likelihood that they will accept the offer. Then balanced appraisal. You're talking about both pros and cons of some decision that you're taking. So whether you are doing that in your answer or not. And demonstration of reasoned judgment when considering key organizational matters and impacts. Then skepticism as a skill. Don't worry, I'll discuss about them again in detail, but I just want you to know that for this particular question which we saw, how examiner got the theme to award marks to you. Similarly, skepticism, how will they give you marks for that? So demonstration of the ability to probe, to inquire. So skepticism, you would have heard this term earlier also. So you have to display a skeptical attitude. Not everything that is given to you is deemed correct. You have to have that probing attitude, have a questioning attitude for issues and problems, including additional information which you feel should be available to you. Then appropriate application of professional judgment to draw conclusions and make informed decision about the courses of action which are appropriate in the context of the engagement. And last will be commercial acumen. Recommendations are practical. You're not just writing anything in the world, you're writing feasible solutions. That is very important. So the recommendations are practical and plausible, effective use of examples and or calculations to drive across the point that you want to make. Then recognition of possible consequences of past and future actions and decisions, and demonstrating an awareness of the purpose behind certain rules and provisions. So why something is a rule or why is there a provision around it? So you have to have that practical understanding of it. You will develop these skills throughout while we discuss the syllabus content also. But yes, I would really suggest, at least for this skill, commercial acumen, please have a practical mindset. You can even read business magazines. That will also be a good point which will help you to develop this, business acumen, the commercial acumen of any industry. So this was the marking scheme which is given to the examiner. In the similar way, they are given with this sample answer also, and this will be, of course, not available to you in exam. You will get it on the practice platform only for practice purposes. So all the calculations, say profit on sale of division, the appendix, detailed appendix of all the answers is available to you here. So that was part AC, report. This is report to the directors of so and so, introduction. And then you're giving headings for all the parts that you're discussing here. Okay. So this way. And then as I told you, there will be a conclusion paragraph also. So this is how report will have to be written, and you have to prepare yourself for this. Okay. This is a report. Then all the appendix is like a footnote of all the detailed calculations. And you're specifying that you're addressing this particular requirement here. Okay. So then part B answer is given to you. And see how you're giving headings and then writing in small paragraphs. Don't make it like a long prose and poetry answer that the examiner is left to figure out, okay, the student must have covered this point here, that point there. Clear-cut paragraphs, give headings. And yes, credit will be given for alternative, valid comments and approaches where relevant for all parts of the question. So it doesn't mean that this is the only right way to solve this question. There could be different approaches also for which you will be given marks as per the guidelines given to the examiner. Okay. And this is available to you for all the three questions. See, you can see the answer and the marking scheme. See the marking scheme. Here they have given you for three skills only. Calculation wise, what are the marks available? So step marking is available to you. This is the marking scheme, and this is the sample answer. Because how you would have done the calculation. So all of this is available to you over here. And similarly for part 3 also. What all marks are available for the calculation of contracts, futures, options. Then what are the marks for your professional skills? So if you have effectively challenged the information or the assumptions which were provided to you, so that will show your skeptical attitude. Similarly, analysis, evaluation, and commercial acumen. So 3 skills get tested in section B and 4 skills get tested in section A. And I'm sure now you're getting a feeler of what is expected out of you with these skills. So it is all in the way you are writing the answer to the technical part that these skills get tested. How you have written those answers, like are you including in your answer some challenging opinions or some assumptions? So all of that carries marks in professional skills. And I'm telling you, it's very important. 20 marks on just how you are writing your paper. Okay. And similarly, you will be able to see the sample answer. Click here to see the sample answer, and you can see the sample answer over here. Okay. So this is available for all the papers which are there on the practice platform. If I just take you back, one second, I'll show you. A lot of papers are available, okay, for each of the subjects. And you can access it for any subject. For the timing, we are accessing it just for the AFM paper. Uh, yeah, AFM. And you will see a lot of papers are there, okay? See, past exam library. So many question papers are available on the platform. Look at this. For each of these papers, you'll be able to see the model answer here on the mark tab. So once you have attempted the paper, you have submitted the exam, only then you'll be able to see it in the mark section. Then for practice exams also, 4 papers here. See how many papers? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 4. 13 papers are available for practice on the platform itself. And then this blank workspace. So let me show you this blank workspace, and this you can use for your practice purpose. When I say now that you can randomly open any practice platform and do the calculations. See, word processor, spreadsheet, and this is the BISOP calculator that I was talking to you about. It will be given to you wherever you need it, not in all the questions. So if you input just these 5 variables, the platform performs all of these calculations and gives it to you. Okay, but we'll discuss it more in detail when the topic comes. Yeah, but this is what I was talking to you about. It will be given to you as a response option here if a question contains a requirement of BISOP. Are you with me? Did you understand how you can look at the model answers? And this is a blank workspace where you can use this for any question that you want to write. Spreadsheet and the BISOP calculator. Okay, so you can make use of this. Maybe not today, but once the syllabus takes full swing, you can try these questions randomly, or once the syllabus is over, you can try the questions over here. It will really, really give you that confidence that you have attempted full papers. And of course, prior June, You will get June mock exam. Like you can see the March mock exam here now. Like once your attempt is due, by some 7th or 8th of May, they will release the June mock paper. So that is like a must do before exam. There's no negotiation on that. Please do that. And it will be available here only, ACC official. And now this will get replaced with pre-June 2025 mock. So you can practice these questions from it. So that's the utility of the ACCA practice platform. And let's just come back to the screen here. That was the exam, a real exam paper, which I discussed with you. You know how it is going to look like. Okay, with that, let's take a break here and then we'll deep dive into each four of these professional skills. So I've, would try to summarize it for you in these small four boxes, what you need to do to score marks in each of these skills. So it will be very helpful. Let's take a break here for 15 minutes and then post the break, we will continue our discussion. So refresh yourself and be back. Hello everyone, welcome back from the break. Let's continue our discussion. So now we're going to be talking about professional skills. So as I told you, there are four professional skills. Communication will get tested in section A only, and the other three, of course, four skills get tested in section A, including communication skills. And in section B, communication skill doesn't get tested. It could be 3 on 3 or 2 out of 3 skills which could get tested in a section B question. Now, what do you need to do in general to score the communication marks is inform the target audience using a clear format. I've been again and again focusing on the format of the report. So that is very, very important, how you write the report. So that will get you the professional skill marks. And persuade with logical argument. See, communication skill, I'm sure if all of you are working, you will know how important communication skills are in a corporate setup. And ACCA recognizes that. And therefore, it sees if you are able to drive across the point with clear and logical arguments. You should be, okay, it's not about using technical words. In fact, the best communication is when you can explain difficult words or difficult matter with simple words. So that is what should come out in your answer. It doesn't mean you have to bombard with difficult English words, nothing like that. Mention the points in general English, but it's drafted in a way which is very clear and logical for the person to understand. So that will help you to get the communication skill marks, right? Then we have commercial acumen. So commercial acumen is practical considerations. So you have to be practical while you're giving the, answers. Don't write some philosophical or some illogical points, solution. It's because in a lot of questions, they'll be asking you about a possible solution. So that solution should be a plausible one. Do not give some superficial solution which will not work in real life. Then recognize constraints. What do you mean? So there will be certain limitations. You have to recognize that this company is working within the ambit of these limitations, and this is what is the best it can do staying in these limitations. And awareness of alternative opportunities. So you may suggest more than one solution if you feel that the first one could not sail through. So that is about commercial acumen, how to score marks in that. And then third skill is analysis and evaluation. Consider the meaning of data. See, a lot of times, a lot of data points will be given to you in the exhibits. Your role as a finance manager would be to sew them all together, to bring out the meaning and elaborate on it. Okay, so that this is what the data reflects. Directionally, this is where the company could be going. So that has to come out, and that gives you the marks for analysis and evaluation. That you analyzed the data and then you are giving out your viewpoints on that. Then assess the impact on different stakeholders. Like if you're taking a particular decision, you evaluate its impact on different stakeholders, including shareholders. So, ma'am, what are stakeholders and shareholders? See, shareholders are the owners of the company, and stakeholders include shareholders, but they also include customers of the company, the suppliers of the company, the directors, the employees of the company. So, these are the different stakeholders. So, if you're taking a particular decision, how it could impact the different stakeholders, that can also be included as a part of your answer to get the marks on analysis and evaluation. Then third is apply analysis to the company. So whatever data that you have analyzed, you should be able to apply it to the company. Okay, so that's the analysis evaluation marks. And last is skepticism. Very simply put, having a questioning mindset. If something is given to you and there's no reason why it should be like that, you can put that questioning point in your answer. So question the validity of approaches. So if the CEO wants you to do something, you may mention that this could be done in a different way as well. There is need for further information to understand to do it in, using a particular approach. Giving you just an example. So identify new information needed and challenge opinions. So if someone feels something, like MD of the company feels this, or whoever feels so and so, you should be able to challenge that opinion on the basis of information, not by showing a rude behavior. On the basis of information, you're able to challenge their views and, logically persuade them as well. So that comes under skepticism. So these are the 4 professional skills, and what you need to do to score the marks is given to you in simple bullet points. Please go through the slide and let me know if it's okay. Please take your time, no hurry. Read through and let me know. Take your time, let me know whenever you're done. Done? All okay. Perfect. So then let's move ahead. Now let's take a look at the top resources that you need to pass the exam. And I'll tell you, keep your life simple. I know we have that mindset from the very beginnings of our educational journey that the more you study from different books, the more is your propensity to pass. Nothing like that. Keep your resources straightforward that this is all what I need to cover. And this is an exhaustive list. And one, very important suggestion, I'm talking as a friend here, please refrain, and I'm using this word refrain. Please refrain from using multiple books to do your preparation. And it's a big blunder which you might do. So I'm telling you in the first class itself, please stick to one book. In our classes, we are going to be doing the VGLD book. I'm telling you, it's very exhaustive. If you're able to complete that with all the question practice, it's more than enough to pass the exam. Your concepts need to be strong, which I'm taking the responsibility for. You'll get all the concepts cleared in the class itself. From question practice point of view, just stick to one book. What happens is that a lot of students, when they get time, they feel that okay, I'll solve Kaplan also, I'll solve BPP also, I'll solve this private publication also, and it becomes so confusing for them that they forget the basics. Please do not do that mistake. uh, Follow this, and I'm speaking from experience here. It's better to stick with one book, but having your concepts rock solid, that any question which comes, see, you will not get a common question from any book. Whichever book you may study, you will never get the same copy paste question. Some tweakings will be there, some adjustments might change, or adjustments from different questions might come together in one question, so that will happen. So that whichever book you may study, but if you're studying from a comprehensive book, your concepts are rock solid, you'll be able to attempt any question. Okay, so that faith and confidence you need to have in you and the coaching that you're taking. Okay, so first is trainings from VGLD. This is the first most important resource which you should be using to pass the exam. Please attend all the live lectures. Yes, you get the video backup of all the classes, but you will only realize yourself that it is beneficial to attend the live lectures, practice the questions in the live classes, get feedback for your improvement. Because when you're taking recorded lectures, it's all just, one way that I'm talking, and then you have to, just go with that flow. But in the live classes, you can also mention that, okay, this point I need further detail on. So try to attend live lectures if possible. If it is not possible at all, then of course you don't have any other choice but to go for the recorded lectures. But first priority should be to do the live lectures and just stick to one course content, VGLD book and VGLD classes. That will be sufficient completely. Okay. So trainings from VGLD. Then this I'll come back. Third one is your CBE practice platform, the computer-based exam. CBE is computer-based exam. This I've already covered in detail with you. I showed you that multiple questions are available, question papers are available to you. You can see their answers. So you can consider this as a practice, you know, technique. And then the other three, now let's cover that. Okay, so first here we need to cover the ACCA Study Hub. Here also I'll just tell you to have a restricted, view of it. I'll just show you what it is and how you can also access it. Just go to your browser and type in ACCA Study Hub. Okay, please type this ACCA Study Hub. Do it along with me so that you are also able to access it, and add a bookmark for it. Once you get the link for the website, add a bookmark so that you don't have to type so much all the time. Click on the first link over here, ACCA Study Hub. Okay, and scroll down and click on alternate login. Okay, click on alternate login over here. So you can bookmark this page next time when you access it, so it will directly open this. So click on sign into my ACCA, same user ID password which you must have used to access the practice platform in the morning today. So click on sign in to my ACCA. So for the June attempt, so you can, start, go to this tab, not yet started, and click on the paper Advanced Financial Management because I've already opened it. It is showing to me in the dashboard. You'll be able to see something like this. For exams from September 24 to June 25, Advanced Financial Management with this thumbnail. Please check if you're able to see it in the Not Yet Started section. Please see if you're able to see this and let me know. You'll be seeing this type of a thumbnail picture, and for exams from September 24 to June 25, AFM. Scroll through this part, not yet started part, you will be able to see it. I've already started it, so it is coming to me in the dashboard, but you'll be able to see it in the not yet started tab. Done. So I'll click on study here. Please let me know if you're there with me. You need to click on study. Yes? Okay. So there's a detailed chapter-wise discussion here. This you don't need. The VGLD book would be sufficient, so this is not needed. What could be useful to you would be the quizzes here. Okay, so there are chapter-wise quizzes. So our chapter numbers align with the study hub chapters. So after you are done with each chapter now, you can open up. So let's say we are starting chapter 3 today. So chapter 3, start quiz. You can attempt these questions. It's these small practice questions, small adjustments would be there. We can select the option. Okay. And see. So I was randomly selecting the answers, so I got all wrong. But if you are able to select the answers correctly, you'll get the marks here. And now, if you click on review all, if you click on review all, you will be able to see the correct answer also. Like what is the correct answer and what is the explanation behind it. So this is something you can do from the study hub. Quizzes you can attempt after every chapter completion along with the question practice, which I will tell you. And another section which could be useful to you is flashcards. So important terms, like what is the strategy, what is money laundering, sustainability, sustainable development. So all these are keywords. Okay, these are all keywords. Long list is there. You can take a printout. Okay, so if you click on print, the entire list will get printed together itself. So it's a long list of 104 keywords which you can take a printout of and click print and save it on your study table. Anytime you are just having a free time, having some free time, you can read through these terms. Of course, all of these terms will come to you in the due course of your syllabus and you will understand them. But this is also like a good reference list that you can use. Okay, so all of this you will learn: unbundling, divestment, demerger. Everything will come to you in the syllabus, but you can find it at one stop, all the keywords, and you can use it to hang it up in your, hang it up on your study table. So these two sections will be useful to you. Questions and all will be covered in the book, so no need to refer to the practice part. So practice is basically questions, but of course you will be doing it in your book itself, so not needed. Chapters also not needed because this is the study material part, again covered in the book. So two sections which you can use it. flashcards, and quizzes. More important out of these would be the quizzes section. You can refer to it after every chapter completion. Okay, so that is the study hub. Now, the next resource which you need to know is the ACCA's examiner report. Let me tell you what that is. Type in ACCA examiner report. Okay. So ACCA examiner report is what? So after every exam, the ACCA's examiners team, they release that what are the common mistakes which students are doing. So for example, if you look at this September-December 24 attempt examiners report, let's take a look at what they have given. Okay. So these three questions now, which you can see, I'll zoom out a little. Sorry, zoom in. So these three questions you will be able to see on the practice platform. In the past paper section, as I told you, there are 15 papers. So there will be this September-December 24 question paper also. And once you are done with attempting it, what I would suggest is do it for 1 or 2 papers. That's sufficient. After you are done with the solving of the paper, I would suggest that you go through the question wise feedback given by the examiner's team. See, anyways, I will also keep telling you that this is a common error which students do. All of these things will come to you in classes also. But this is straight from the horse's mouth, as they say, that examiner's team is telling you what are the mistakes which students did or what you could have done to make your answer better. So exam technique and time management, like were all the students who attempted the paper able to complete this question? Okay. Then scenarios and requirements, were they able to? So details about the treasury function and activities are given in this. So very detailed view of what the examiners were able to understand from the students' performance. General comments. Now requirement-wise comments. Overall, there were some very good answers, but there were also some candidates who did not attempt this. Okay, a lot of times you will see that in the theory questions because somehow students prepare very well for the practical part and they ignore the theory part. They'll not even attempt the theory questions. And let me tell you, to pass the exam, you need to be, up to speed with both theory as well as practical. Okay. Many candidates fail to consider the second part of the requirement. See, I told you now, there could be 2 parts in the same requirement. Students ignore the second part. See, many candidates fail to consider the second part of the requirement. So I'll also keep telling you the common mistakes, but for 1 or 2 questions, which papers which you solve, come back and read this examiner's report. You will understand what mistakes others are doing so that you don't do them. Okay. So this is an important resource which will be available to you. Okay. So this, question wise. So that was for the first question. Now this is for question number 2, Motexa company format, and this is something which will be useful to you and it's available over here. See. For different papers. It's March, June, then September, December 23, March, June 23, December 22, September 22, March, June 22. So it is available for a lot of recent papers. You can read through for any 1 or 2 papers. Okay. And the next resource that you need to refer to, are you clear with me? Till now, anyone having any doubt? Please let me know. No doubts? Perfect. Okay, just please let me know whenever you get any doubt, you can type it in the chat. And the next, last exam resource that you need to be aware of is ACCA technical articles. Or let me show it to you where it is exactly. So if you go to accaglobal.com, hover over the students section and study support resources. Then click on ACCA qualification and then click on the respective paper. For us, it is AFM. So look at this. Technical articles. Look at this. Technical articles and topic explainers. So you can open this. So chapter wise, they will give you some important topics. Okay, they will discuss in detail over here. So for example, green finance. It's a new topic in the syllabus. So they have talked about green finance in a lot of detail here. So if you are just, maybe having some free time, you want to browse through some articles, read more about a particular topic, you can randomly just open any one topic which you want, which you find interesting, and read about it. Lot of details. What is green finance? Advantages, disadvantages. This was a smaller one, but I'll show you some long ones also. For example, this securitization. This is also a topic in your syllabus. So securitization through collateralized debt obligations. So it's a good topic. It's considered to be one of few complicated topics. So you can read about it in detail. Lot of examples, concepts will be given. So it's given to you in the form of this example here. Calculations. So if you're having some free time, maybe you're traveling in a metro, you're getting in, wherever you feel like spending some time expanding your knowledge, this is the place to be for the AFM paper. And similarly, it is available for the other papers also. For the timing, I'm talking about the AFM paper. So, chapter wise, topic wise. So there is one topic which we learn is Islamic finance. So Islamic finance, a lot of these different instruments are there, and Sukuk bonds is one of them. So this topic, this technical article is talking about Sukuk bonds. So don't worry, all the concepts, yes, will be covered in the class. It's just to enhance your knowledge, in a lot of details. When you read about something, you learn more about it. So that's the whole objective of technical articles. If you get time, do it. It's a suggestive resource, not mandatory to do. Okay, but I want you to know that yes, all of these reverse takeover is a very important topic in the syllabus. So you can read more about it here with some more examples. Okay, so long list is there. Some videos are also there. If you want to read, if you want to watch some videos, so topic explainer videos you can also refer to. Okay, this is recommendatory. If you get time, go through them. Okay, so coming back, we have covered all these 5 top resources. First and most important would be to be regular in the class, that is, and to attend the trainings, the lectures. Second is ACCA Study Hub. You can refer to the quiz section and the flashcards. Practice platform for practicing the mock paper and the past papers. Then ACCA examiners report to understand the feedback from the examiners. Then ACCA technical articles, any topic which you need further help with, you can refer to these technical articles. So these are the top resources which you should be, keeping your focus on while you are in your journey to prepare for the AFM paper. Okay. Now, one thing which comes to my mind, which I want to share with you, is how do you prepare for the paper? Okay. So what I would suggest is, and I'm going to take some time here, but it's a very important discussion, so please listen to me carefully. So what your preparation strategy would be. On a regular basis, we are going to be having our classes, right? As I've told you, as per the schedule. So we will be having our classes. Please attend all the classes, okay, and be regular. See, what happens is when you attend one lecture and then you come for the next lecture, you miss something, you don't, I mean, you're not regular, you then don't understand things in a flow, and it all starts becoming a mess in your mind. So please be regular, attend all the lectures in the same flow as they are being discussed. If by chance you miss something, don't worry, you will get the video backup. Watch it, try to complete it before the next class so that you are also up to date. But the problem is the VGLD team would take about 24 to 48 hours to upload a lecture. So it's not done on the same day. 1 or 2 days get taken up to upload the recorded lectures. They also do their own editing and fine tuning of the lecture, so it takes time. So you have to be aware that if you're missing a lecture, you'll not get it immediately. So please plan accordingly. Try to attend the lectures, be regular, number one. And what I would suggest you to do is that after particular chapter is complete, so the if you have seen the book, have you all got the book, VGLD book? Do you have that? The AFM book? Asta has it. Others? Okay, Manmeet will get it today. And Chahat, any reason you have not got it? Did you reach out to the admin team? Or if it is on the way, then that's okay. But please get the book. Yeah, yeah. Please do reach out to the admin team to get hands on the book. So if you look at the book, I'll also show it to you. The book is divided into two parts. First is your content, okay, and the other half is the chapter-wise questions and answers. So chapter-wise content, chapter-wise question and answer. So what we will be doing is we will be doing the content from the book. I will be referring to the book in the class, and we'll do the content from there. And once the chapter is over, your job would be to go home and do all the question practice. Okay. And how you would do the question practice. Now, this is very important. So please create Excel file for each chapter. Sorry. This will be your version of the Excel file. Now, one thing very clear. Anything which I am showing in the class, like this file which you're seeing right now, or the Excel files which I'm going to cover in the class, you will definitely get it. You don't have to take any screenshot, copy anything, nothing. You don't even have to type anything while I'm talking in the class. Everything which I'm discussing, showing in the class, you will get it. Book you will be getting from the team. So, coming back to the point, so yeah, you don't have to, copy or take screenshots, nothing needed. You will get all the resources from me. Book from the admin team. Now, what you have to do is while you are practicing the questions, please create your own versions of the Excel file, chapter wise. So, for example, like even I will be giving you some questions to practice in the class. So, if you have your versions ready, you save them properly in one folder. It will become an easy referencer for you where you have your own solutions for the questions. So what you do, class questions you practice in those chapter-wise files, which we will be doing in the class. Second is all the question practice. Start solving them in your Excel file only, Excel or Word file if you're comfortable. You want to go with a pair of Excel and Word, that's fine. You can simply do in Excel also. Like I find Excel more comfortable. I'd solve everything in Excel itself. So that is also something you can do. Tab wise, each tab you can use for different questions from the backside of the VGLD book. Okay. So this is something that you have to do in the first round. So the first round of practice, it will happen along with the classes. Able to follow me? So what I was telling you is how do you need to prepare, right? So for preparation, I told you attend the classes. Once the lectures are over, you will get all the notes. And my technique is whatever I say, I will put it down in your Excel files. I mean, I'll type it down so that you don't forget it any day. So you will get those notes, revise those notes, and practice the questions from the backside, and do it for all the questions. Wherever you get doubt, please note it down and ask it to me in the next class. I'll deal with all your doubts. I don't keep doubts for the end of the syllabus. We will keep some time on a regular basis to resolve your doubts. Okay, so whatever doubts you get, note them down while you are practicing. And when we meet for the next class, you can tell me, and in the beginning itself, we'll first clear the doubts and then we'll move for the regular class. Okay. So first, attend the lectures. Second is practice questions along with the classes. That is your first round, and that will be very exhaustive and it will take the maximum time. Now, what you have to do during this time is, while you are doing your first round of practice, is highlight those questions, or more specifically those adjustments where you made mistakes. 100% you will make mistakes while you're doing your first round, no doubt about it. And don't get disheartened that, okay, I made mistakes, the chapter was done in the class, still I'm making mistakes. Everyone does it. No problem there. So you will make mistakes in some adjustments, you will get it wrong, or you were not able to think about also some adjustment. That's fine. Mark those adjustments. Or if the question overall is very good and exhaustive one, so mark that question. Ma'am, why are you asking us to mark? Because in the second round which you do, you may not get as much time as you're getting now. Okay, so as I told you, this first round is very exhaustive. To expect to do all these questions once again fully end to end, it could be a difficult task. See, people do it. I also did it because, like, I mean, I really enjoy doing these things. So I did the second round also with a lot of details. But I'm being practical. Not everyone can find so much time to do the second round in so much detail. So while you are doing the first round of practice, mark those questions or adjustments which you find very tricky, that you will need to relook at them so that you're able to get it right for the exam. So maybe let's say there are questions, take a round number. So let's say there are 100 questions. Out of these 100, you mark about 75, 80 questions. So some balanced 20 questions will be like repetitions only. You know, numbers changed or minor small changes in adjustments. So you can bar those questions, that these questions are not needed for again for a repractice. So you can remove those questions. So out of 100, now you're left with some 75, 80 questions. Or within those questions also you have highlighted and marked the important adjustments. So in your second practice, you are going to be practicing these questions only. Okay? Live lecture, first practice along with the live lecture, second round of revision comes after that once the lectures are over. Okay, and now you are getting your free time to practice again. So in this free time, you will do your practice. Okay, re-practice, I would say. Now, it's possible now that out of the 80 questions which you did incorrectly before, 50% of them, it will be fine. You will be able to crack it now in this attempt. Okay. So those are done. And then the balance 50% questions, 40 questions, maybe 30 questions that will be left, that you keep for the third round of revision. And in these 30 questions will be those questions which are, really exhaustive ones. Sometimes even I'll tell you in the class, while I'm doing questions in the class, I'll tell you that, please mark it as a good exhaustive question. So you will make a list of these questions. I don't want to release this list because to each his own. Again, what you might, okay, what, let's say Manmeet might find difficult, Chahat may not find difficult. So I don't want to release that list to you. I want you to create that list. Okay, that this is my first round of revision. I found these topics difficult. I'm going to put this again in my second round. Second round, I found these questions difficult. I'm going to put it for my final round of revision. Third round is the final round, which you will be doing in the week before exam. Okay, so make that list of questions for yourself, and maybe some class questions also. or maybe some notes part I will come, but this was for question practice. What is the strategy that you need to follow? What did I tell? 4 steps, that you have to follow. Live lectures, then first practice along with the live lectures. Next is second practice, and last is final practice. Clear? All right, perfect. So that was for the question practice part. Now, about notes. Now, again, pay attention. So, as I told you, we are going to be referring to the VGLD book. But what I do is in my Excel file only, I will create a tab for notes, whereby any difficult point which comes in the book, or or something which needs more examples to explain, I put it in that notes tab of that Excel file. So this is going to be very, very helpful for you to have an exhaustive understanding of of all the topics, and a very clear, simple understanding of all the topics. So what you have to do is, these notes we are going to cover in the class, and while you are revising now, this notes revision you keep in every revision. Like while you are doing 1, 2, 3 rounds, first round is done with the class. 2 rounds of notes you please do end to end, and in the book, like you would have done generally also while you were studying all the other previous papers or courses till now. Mark some important, use highlighters, use pens, and keep marking in your book that this was, this is an important topic. I need to redo it, and I need to read it again. So keep marking that in the book, and notes which I will show you when we get into the chapters. This you keep for every revision that you do along with the questions, because this will be very much oriented towards the practical concepts that we are going to study. Okay, so that is your entire preparation strategy with respect to the preparation. Now, once you're done with all of this, what you will do is focus on simple, paper solving. I showed you some 13 papers are there on the platform. Solve those papers. Maybe 2, 3, 4, as much as you can. It's good. It will only boost your confidence, nothing else. When you see those questions, you solve them, and then you match your answers with the model answers, you will get another level of boost that, okay, I got this right. Or maybe if you got something wrong, you will get areas for learning. Okay, that okay, let's say I'm lacking in the securitization area, or maybe I'm lacking in the Islamic finance area. I can revisit the notes and improve my preparation. This is all that you have to do, and I'm telling you, it's like a perfect, simple, sweet recipe to pass the paper. Um, don't have to go for anything complicated that you have to do this, that, nothing. Just simple. Class lectures, 3 rounds, complete, not, complete rounds of all the questions, but 3 rounds of question practice from the book, and the past paper solving, past paper and mock paper solving. That's it. Okay, so just have a focused approach that whatever you're doing with your whole heart, and you'll be through. You will definitely not just pass, get awesome marks in the AFM paper. Right? So that would be your preparation strategy. Now I'll move ahead. Skills required. This is pretty simple. Practice questions on Excel Word. I've already discussed that. The next point, 1 idea per mark. You have to focus on quality over quantity. This is something you will realize gradually as you practice questions. See, model answers, they tend to be longer. You don't, I get this query from students, ma'am, do I have to write so much to get the required marks? No. This point which you're seeing over here is to address that only. The intent which you should keep in mind while you're attending the questions is, if it's a 5 mark question, ideally you should bring out 5 ideas or 5 unique points. You need to bring out 5 unique points in your answer. And each of these points, you can elaborate up to 2 to 3 sentences. I'm giving you a very simple strategy to write theory answers. If it's a 5-mark question, try to bring in 5 unique points and explain each of these points in 2 to 3 sentences. That's the expectation at the professional level. And when you are writing these points, each of these 5 points, you should write in 5 different paragraphs. Small paragraphs only because each point you're talking about in 2 to 3 sentences. So 5 small paragraphs. Ma'am, why so? When you do that, it becomes easier for the examiner to give you marks. Okay, that this point got covered here. I showed you how they are given the guidelines to give marks, and when they see that okay, this point has been covered in these all paragraphs, they give you marks very easily. And cherry on top is if you can give a 2 to 3 word heading to each of these paragraphs. Okay, so 1 idea per mark. So if it's a 5-mark question, typically 5 ideas. I'll come back to this one once again. But yes, 5 marks, 5 points, and 2 to 3 sentences per point. That's an ideal answer with headings for each of these paragraphs. Nothing else. You will see very long answers, 8, 10 paragraphs also written, but that's for your knowledge. So that if you read 8 points in exam, you're able to remember 5 points. But coming back to 5 points and 5 marks, sometimes it will be so that you're not able to come up with 5 unique points that you can write in your answer. So what you have to do in that case, maybe write 3 to 4 points, but good ones are like write good quality answers. That's why I've written quality over quantity. You don't have to fill in the answer script. It's not about how long you can write your answers. It's about how qualitative they are. So it might so happen that you're not able to get 5 unique points. Then what would you do? So in that case, write 3 to 4 points, but then increase the length of that point. So from maybe like 2 to 3 sentences, you could write in 3 to 4 sentences, 4 to 5 sentences. But make sure you're not writing active voice, passive voice statements like, my name is Anushka, I'm known as Anushka, people call me Anushka. That should not make up your 3 sentences. Write crisp points and address the requirement properly. Okay, because it might happen that in fact something that you've studied only it consists of 3 points only. Okay, let's different strategies that you have studied to do something. There are 3 strategies only. From where will you get the 4th and the 5th strategy? So write about those 3 strategies and elaborate them properly. Okay, so that is your 1 idea per mark concept. Okay, and in fact while you are writing your answers also, no, there's this one trick which I share with my students, that in the first statement write the fact, okay, that this has happened, or as per the scenario given in the question, this is what is happening, or what has happened. And then the second point will give what why it has happened or how can it be improved. So you'll have to see the layout or the specific requirement of the question. Then only you'll be able to develop the second and the third part properly. But the first part of any paragraph that you're writing to address the requirement should be what has happened or what is happening. Or if it is about a particular concept, you explain that concept in 1 or 2 lines. That should be the beginning part. And then you relate to the question's requirement. If you're able to follow this very simple trick, you will never ever flutter in the theory questions, which most of the students do. Are you able to follow me? All these things which we have discussed, how many points, how many sentences, or what to write in those sentences. You will learn more with practice. I'm just giving you a synopsis of what you need to prepare yourself for. Yes? Manmeet, Chahat, all able to follow, right? Okay. This is very, very important. 1 idea per mark. Always give preference to quality over quantity. It's not about the length of the answers, it's about the quality of your answers, because you are going to be professionals. So it's not expected that you give long commentaries in your work. It's about what unique points you can bring to the table. Then third, I've already covered, use headings and paragraphs. Next, very important, label and cross-reference workings. While I was showing you the model answer, you would have seen that there were proper headings that answer to requirement number 1 or requirement number 2. And what happens is we did not read through the report part, but if you read it, you will see that when these workings are used while writing the report now, in bracket it will be written appendix 1, appendix 2. If you're using a number in your report, from where has that number come? You give that as a reference in a bracket. Okay, appendix 1, note 1, note 2. Okay, in fact, even while solving in Excel, you will learn that with me for sure because I really follow it to the T. Uh, while you are solving the practical questions also now, do not clutter the main answer. So if something can be done in a note and then linked above, use that and give reference that this particular calculation has been done in note 1 and you put the note 1 below. Okay. So label and cross-reference the workings. But yes, please do reference the workings. Otherwise, the examiner will keep thinking only that from where did this number come. So you need to reference your workings. And last is use formula wherever possible. And you will be learning all of these. You can use the sum function, average function, NPV, IRR. All of these functions you will learn. And you can use them in exam as well. Okay, so these are the skills which you need to pass the exam. Simple but very, very useful that you first practice everything on Excel and Word. Then one idea per mark. Use headings and paragraphs. Label and cross-reference workings. And use formula like sum, NPV, IRR. Okay. And then very important is time allocation. Very important is time allocation. So I showed you that there are 3 hours 15 minutes. Okay. Okay, I'll ask you and then you can let me know your feedback. There's no right answer to it. Everyone follows different approaches. So when you see 2, 3 questions, okay, question number 1 is it is testing a question. It is testing a concept which you do not know very confidently or you're weak in this topic. Then question number 2 is you have very strong hold on this particular topic. Okay, it's like your favorite one, maybe risk management topic. Question number 3 is average, or maybe some part of that question you're very strong, some part of the question you're weak. Okay, so it's like an average question. Question number 1, you're very poor. Question number 2, you're very strong. Question number 3, you're average. I want to understand what is the sequence you will use to solve this paper. What is the sequence you will use to solve this paper? Like which question will you attempt first, then next, and then finally? What will be your approach? Asta says 2, 3, and 1. Okay. Others, what do you feel? What will you do? 2, you have very strong hold. So, right. Manmeet is also saying the same, that they'll go with the first, simpler questions first. Or you have, comfortable questions first. That is absolutely right. Please do that in exam as well. I'll tell you why. So once you have attempted the easier question first. In exam also, confidence is very important. When you have done a simpler question first, you feel confident that, okay, so and so marks, maybe 20 marks, 25 marks, whatever it is, I'm very confident about this. That bare minimum, I'm securing this. Then you go for the average one. You become comfortable with, let's say, 10, 12 marks more. And then you go with the next one. So, bare minimum, you're assuring yourself that, okay, my 50, 60 marks are confidently there. I mean, no doubt about it, I'm there. I've crossed the threshold. Now, whatever I'm writing, it's only to improve my marks. That is a strategy. It's a very simple one, but keep it in mind that go with the comfortable one first, then less comfortable, and then the least comfortable. That is a strategy you should follow while you are solving the paper. Now, how do you know which concept got tested in which question? That you have to understand in the first 15 minutes max. So now read this point with me. First 15 minutes to be used to skim read all the questions and understand the topics being tested in each question. So first 15 minutes, because now you have seen now how long the exhibits are, what type of requirements come. So sometimes now what happens, exhibit may be similar or familiar to you from what you have practiced, but the requirement may be different. So don't get excited that you have got a similar question. They will change the requirements. So take your time and read the exhibits and the requirements and understand which one is a simpler one to solve first. So first 15 minutes you will consume in deciding the order in which you want to write the paper. And you have skim read all the questions. Maybe not in detail what the numbers are or exactly what you think the details are, but you've skim read the exhibits, the requirements, and you have decided in your mind the order in which you want to write the paper. Okay? And attempt the questions in any order. So here, like we discussed, it was question number 231, which was comfortable for you. Go with that. No one is going to see, okay, you should have attempted question number 1 first, then 2, then 3. Nothing like that. Then approach should be to attempt easier ones first to make yourself reach a comfortable spot with marks. And now to allocate your time. So total time, how much were you getting? 3 or 15 minutes, out of which 15 minutes are gone in skim reading and deciding the order. If you're able to do it faster, well and good. I'm just telling you, some average concepts here. So average 15 minutes are gone in that. Now you're left with how much time? 3 hours. 3 hours is what? 180 minutes. And what did I tell you? Technical marks are how much? 20 marks are professional skills. 80 marks are professional marks. So to allocate your time, multiply the marks for each question by 2.25. And how am I getting this 2.25? 180 minutes. Cursor seems to have hung up on 1 second. Yeah. So section A. Yeah. So what I was saying is 2.25 minutes. So what is this 2.25 minutes? 180 minutes. 3 hours is what? 180 minutes. Divided by 80 marks. 80 marks, why? Because 80 only are technical marks. Rest 20 marks are how you are attempting these 80 marks. So 2.25 minutes. So it means what? Section A should take you about 40 marks technical. So 40 into 2.25, 90 minutes. And each question in section B should take you about 45 minutes. So 2.25 minutes into 20 marks. So this is the overall time that you should allocate to a question. Section A question, then each of the section B questions. This is the overall time that you can allocate. Or if you want to go deeper into that, okay, that I'll go in a sub question level, that If it's a 2 mark sub question, I'll go for 2 into 2.25, 4.5 minutes I will give. So that is also an approach which students adopt, but please keep in mind that some questions now by default they will be lengthier. In proportionate to the marks that they're carrying, some questions might be lengthier, some questions might be smaller also. So try to manage the marks at an overall level. Okay, that I have to complete this particular question in 90 minutes, this particular question in 45 and 45 minutes. That's a better approach. But some students do it at a sub question level also. That is also fine. So do all these experimentations before exam, like what suits you. Okay, and what happens here is when you allocate the time like this, now you're giving each question its due time. That okay, I am attempting the whole paper, I'm giving it the due time. And what happens is that there could be some questions which you don't know the answer. And it's normal, okay? Don't get scared. Some 4 or 5 marks you might not know the answer of. You might not even have heard about it. I'm talking about the worst case scenario. It doesn't happen like that. You will know about those topics, but maybe you're not able to recall it. So what happens? You leave those questions. Please don't start, uh, you know, pressurizing yourself that no, I have to write, I have to write, I have to write. For the timing, skip it and move to the next question which you're comfortable with. Attempt it, okay? And then once the paper is over and you are having some surplus time, please use that surplus time to attempt these, sub questions which you could not complete earlier. Okay? So in this way, you confidently complete all the paper questions and you're using your time properly. Because time allocation is very important. If you just overspend time in any question, you're eating away the time which you could have used, effectively in some other question. That is why it's a very important aspect to remember and understand. Take your time, read through the slide once, and if you get any doubt, if you feel you have a different opinion, please let me know. We can talk about that. That's okay. But this is a recommendation from my side how you should allocate your time in the exam. Let me know whenever you're done. Take your time, no hurry. Let me know whenever you're done. Done? All right. Then we'll move forward to the last slide of this orientation presentation, and that is the question verbs. Again, this is a recommendatory slide, suggestive slide, which will help you to, address the requirement better. I'm sure you would have, observed I was highlighting all the question verb, like what is it that you're expected to do in that question? Like you're expected to demonstrate, or you're expected to discuss, you're expected to apply a concept, analyze something. So these are the some illustrative list of the question verbs which come in the exam. There could be more of it, but there will be around these particular points only. So the first one is advice. When the question is asking you to advise something, what you have to do in the answer is tell someone what you think they should do in a given scenario. That is what comprises an advice. Okay? That this is what would have been an ideal way to deal with the thing. Then, second is analyze. Break an issue into multiple parts. Discuss the current situation. So, you break down. So, analysis is possible only when you break down a particular aspect, right? So, break down that issue into multiple parts and then discuss about how it is relevant for the given scenario. So, that is something that you need to do in if the question is asking you to analyze. Then, apply. Put a concept into action as per the question's data. That this is a particular concept. So, for example, Black-Scholes option pricing model. So, if the question is asking you to apply a particular model, please use that model to answer the question. You will learn a lot of different things like dividend valuation model, free cash flow based model for different aspects of the syllabus area. So, if the question is asking you to do or apply a particular concept, please do that. Then assess. Assess is understand and judge the importance of an issue. So if a particular problem is there and you are asked to assess, so how important that issue is, how it is relevant to the company, that is something you can, use to answer the question. Then discuss. Okay, just once again. Yeah. So discuss. Next is so while you are asked to discuss about something, argue about the pros and cons of an issue. Like if a particular solution is adopted, then all of these are the positive aspects, all of these are the negative aspects. So you're doing a balanced discussion around it. So that is what discuss you can use to prepare your answer. So argue about the pros and cons of an issue. The next we have estimate. So estimate is same as calculate. So here you have to do a calculation of an approximate value, a simple calculation which we'll be learning in the class also, mentioning assumptions, if any taken. Now, this assumptions part which is mentioned here is very relevant for a section A question. Mostly you will see that in the report, they will ask you to mention the assumptions that you have taken to do some calculations. Okay, so calculate an approximate value, mentioning any assumptions that you have taken. So while you are doing some calculations now, by default, you will start making some assumptions with all the concepts which you are going to study in the class. So you enumerate them, mention them in your report. Then evaluate is similar as discuss. So balanced discussion on what is right, what is wrong, and why it is right or wrong. Then explain. If a question is asking to explain a particular concept, please explain it in a way that it becomes clear to a layman. Let's say you're asked to explain the concept of reverse takeover by making reference to the question scenario. Refer to the company which is there in the scenario and how this reverse takeover is being structured. So that will be an explanation. And recommend is same as advice. You have to suggest or recommend a course of action to someone. You could say these are some 9 question verbs which I've included here. Now if you get demonstrate, so demonstrate is similar to discuss, and then you have to demonstrate it with the help of some numerical examples also that will be specified to you in the question itself. Please take a look at it. Let me know if you are okay with it. If there's any doubt, please let me know. Let me know. Go through it, take your time. Done? Okay. Screen is blank. Please check. Um, Presentation is still on. Let me know if it's visible, not visible. Oh, okay, okay. Let me retry sharing it. Visible, no? Okay. Please go through. All right. Take your time, go through it. Let me know if it's okay. Then we move ahead. Done? Okay, perfect. So with that, we will wrap up the orientation session. And 1 second. So after every chapter is complete, okay. So after every chapter is complete, you will be getting the notes, and so the admin team, it uploads it on a drive, or maybe you'll get it on the LMS. Both of ways are possible. So one, and I share it once only the chapter is done, not in between, because otherwise multiple versions of the file gets created. So to avoid that, once the chapter is done, so like that we have completed this orientation session now, I'll share across this with the team and they will upload it on the drive for you. So if you face any issues with getting the notes, please reach out to the team. You will get them. Okay. Okay, now let me briefly discuss about what Sada was mentioning to you. That this is how the book is structured. So we have the content here, the detailed course content. So total we have about 18 chapters. Now a few of them are completely theory. For example, this first chapter, the role of financial strategy. This is purely theoretical chapter. Then this economic environment for multinationals is completely theory. International operation mix, slight theory, slight practical. But otherwise, most of the chapters are tilted towards practical. A lot of computations examples will be there. So what we will do is, what I've observed over time, like if I start with chapter number one and it is a completely theory topic, it gets a little monotonous. So what we'll do is we'll do some topics from this chapter and then I'll side by side start second chapter also. So that you get a swing between theory and practical and it doesn't get boring. Okay, so that's something we'll do. And for otherwise, all the other chapters, we can go with the flow because it's a mix of theory, practical. Some theory for the practical concepts only, and then the practical concepts come. But this is like a pure theory topic, like financial strategy is, what finance managers do, and all of that. So for that, we will, swing between the first and the second chapter. Rest all we'll go with the chapter-wise flow only. So yeah, the total contents here, if you can see, is 18 chapters. And question and answers also total, for 18 chapters, we have uh, chapter wise questions. Okay, so that is, just to introduce you to the content. The first chapter that we have here is role of financial strategy. And I will also so I was referring to the Excel notes now. Let me show you what I was talking about. So we'll keep making changes in this. So this is what the notes I was referring to. For each of the chapters, you will get such Excel files from me, and we will cover that in the class. All the examples or wherever some details, some videos also we will, see in the class. In this way, you will get the notes, and anything we need to add, delete, we can do over here. Okay. So to start off with, so like this is a detailed one. I've tried to put a lot of examples here for your reference. Different models you're going to be learning. See, I told you about ethics. So under ethics, we also have a framework for environment, social, and governance framework. So you'll be learning about that in a lot of details here. Okay, so this is what I was referring to when I said we are going to be covering the notes, and this will be available to you for all the different chapters that we are going to cover in the class. Now coming back. So what's the chapter? Role of financial strategy. Now, what do you mean by a strategy? A strategy is an action plan to achieve its objective, varying in duration. So, strategy can be long term, medium term, short term. So, strategies can be planned for pursuing two types of objectives. First is corporate objectives, and second is financial objectives. Okay, so what is a strategy? Like, what is an action plan to achieve the objective which a company may have? And the objectives or the strategies uh, can be planned for pursuing two types of objectives. One is corporate objective, and the other one is financial objectives. Okay, so what comes under corporate objectives? Corporate objectives pertain to the entire organization and often encompass a range of goals such as profit targets. And that's for the entire organization. Market share goals. Can you tell me what market share is? What do you understand by market share? What do you mean by market share? Perfect. So, for example, like if we are talking about the e-commerce business, so main players are who? Like Flipkart, Amazon, then Tata is coming up, but mostly it's around these companies. So let's say Flipkart has got a 48% market share. Just telling a reference example. So it means what? Out of the total sales which are made in that industry, 48% is with Flipkart. So having a objective around market share means what? Like we have to be market leaders. We have to have so and so percentage of the market share. Now let's talk about, for example, the alcobev, alcoholic beverage industry. So who are the main, competitors? One is Pernod Ricard, and second one is United Spirits, or DIGO, as you may know it. So DIGO is a listed company. So these are the two main, market leaders. Then there are other companies also, Radico Khaitan, and then different Presadly. So these companies are also there, but then these have smaller market shares. So like in within the company, we used to talk about like we have to get so and so market share. Like within Northeast, we have to get, let's say, 50% market share. We have to reach there. So these are all corporate objectives, and there are proper strategies to reach that goal. So profit targets, then again, as I mentioned with example about the market share goals. Then share price growth. Now DIGO is a listed company, as I said, and within DIGO, what would be the discussion that we have to get, let's say, a 5% growth in the share price on an annual basis. So this is a corporate objective. Then addressing local and environmental concerns. So this is something which is to be seen holistically from a corporate level, that you are ensuring that the local and environmental concerns of the organization are met. And very, very important, maintaining a contented workforce. What do you mean by this? That there should be a workforce which is satisfied with the work that they are giving, they are doing, the work, I mean, the remuneration which they are getting for the work. So that comprises the corporate objectives. Now, these objectives can be categorized as follows. First is profit goal, that you enhance these profits. And how can you enhance profits? Increase the revenue, reduce the cost. So these objectives which we're talking about, it can be categorized under profit goal, directly enhances the profits, such as cost reduction measures. Surrogate profit, indirectly contribute to increased profits, like maintaining a contented workforce. Can someone explain to me what this means? How can maintaining a contented workforce be considered a surrogate profit goal? When your workforce is happy, when the workforce is satisfied, they will work with increased motivation. They will want to push sales and bring about cost efficiencies in the company. Right? Absolutely right, Manmeet. Asta, what you've covered is right. So they will work in the best interest. So it will indirectly contribute to the increased profits. So I'm hoping you're understanding that these goals can be categorized, like what we have studied here, profit targets, then this maintaining a contented workforce. For example, it can be classified under surrogate profit. Then constraints on profit. Objectives that limit profits, such as ensuring operations do not harm the environment, or CSR activities. So CSR activities are for societal upgrade, but then they are a hit to the PNL. So these are constraints on profit type of objectives. They are restricting the profits for achieving some other objectives. And then goals can be dysfunctional also. Objectives that lack long-term benefits. For instance, pursuing market leadership. Explain this with an example. How can pursuing market leadership could lead to a dysfunctional behavior in an organization? Think about it. How could it not benefit you in the long term? You're chasing market leadership. How could it not be beneficial for you? About it. See, do you remember the times when Ola, Uber, or maybe even Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, they entered the e-commerce space, or Ola, Uber entered the, conveyance space? They were giving huge discounts. Swiggy, Zomato, all of them were giving so many coupons. Remember? I hope all of you remember that. What was that? It was a hit to the P&L, right? They were taking a hit on the P&L. What were they trying to chase? They were trying to chase market share, that we become the one and only in company in the industry. Not maybe one and only, but maybe we just become the market leaders. So what happens is these companies, they got a big chunk of the market share, but I'm sure you will know that Flipkart today still is a loss-making company. They have a very good market share, but they are burning money to get that market share. So we could classify this as a dysfunctional goal, that your profit is taking a back seat because you're trying to chase market leadership. So they lack long-term benefits. In fact, while I was working with Flipkart also, we in the finance profile were having a very, hot seat type of a profile, because the business people, they were chasing market leadership, but then we had to, take that step that, you have to bring in profit. You have to, you cannot keep on burning money. The promotions that you're planning, what is the, benefit that will come to the company? So we in finance profile were trying to make these dysfunctional goals into, we were trying to bring it into symmetry. So this is something which you as finance managers also will be doing, or might also still, actually be doing in your work profiles as well. So objectives that lack long-term benefits, like pursuing market leadership. So you as finance managers, you will have to bring them into symmetry. But yes, there can be goals which are dysfunctional. You might not be getting immediate benefit out of it. Maybe in the long run, maybe 10-15 years down the line, when Flipkart becomes indispensable and no other company can do the level of work which Flipkart is delivering, then maybe it can start monetizing that. Maybe that's the goal also. But as of now, in the immediate 3-5 years, that might be a very difficult trajectory to trade upon. So that is about dysfunctional goals. Okay, so these objectives, which we have talked about, these are some illustrative examples only, but they can be classified, overall within these categories. What are they? Profit goals, surrogate profit, that is, which gives you profit indirectly. Third is goals which restrict your profit to achieve some other objective, like environmental concerns or for societal concerns. Last is goals could be dysfunctional also. You're not able to align the goals with main objective of wealth maximization of the shareholders. Okay. So on that note, we will pause here for the day and we will meet again tomorrow to continue the discussion. All right. So easy class today, just to, bring you up to speed of what you are expecting in the paper. And then now full-fledged, we will get into the syllabus areas. All right. Thank you so much for joining in today. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye and please take care. Thank you.